with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you. Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you. Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
And about 3.5 hours of pure talk, entertainment, and knowledge. Would you put knowledge in there somewhere?
Well, there'll be talk.
Yeah, though, yeah.
Okay. Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad, really, is it?
Meatloaf wants 2 out of 3.
Something like that. I don't know. Math is not going to be part of tonight's show. I pretty much guarantee you that.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't
They're
already,
all the math
if you
listeners.
haven't already put your juice box in the fridge, now's a good time to do it. You're going to need it for the drinking word later, I'm sure. If you are watching the show with somebody who needs a juice box, that may be an issue too. You never know. Oh, Lord have mercy. It is a Tuesday night. We are, like I said in the post earlier, we are post Oscars, post weekend, and pre-spring break for us. We will be off the next 2 weeks while Al is out of town, and I think we all just need a little time off to regroup. And part of it is for me to recuperate from this fucking cough.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but it's just an antagonizing little thing. And it's one of those things like I was just telling Kat. I've coughed so much, everything hurts. And the same muscles you use to cough are the muscles you use to laugh. So laughing hurts too. Comedy's painful. I don't know if anybody else has understood that before, but it's very painful. My heaven's sakes. What's going on in the chat room? We got Joe D, Meow Cal, Danielle and Summer were in there very early.
They had a soccer
Danielle
game, I
and
think,
Summer,
this
yeah,
week,
they
didn't
did.
they?
Yeah, because Al was trying to encourage them to sneak wine into the soccer
was.
game earlier.
We have to send them a wine purse with like the show with Clayton McKee on the side.
Oh, with a
of it.
label on. Oh, yeah.
And
We
again,
need to start making merchandise.
I
Right, 'cause-
can't stress enough to our wine moms the
I know
joy
a
someone.
guy.
of the Target Cube. You know what I mean?
Say that
The
again.
Target Cube is just your perfect accessory for purse
Oh,
wine.
very nice.
And
The
they come
Target
in.
Cube.
Yeah, it's a Target. It's not in box wine, but in an individual glass. So
Okay.
you buy it's wine juice boxes.
Oh,
I love that.
But they
yes.
call that-
I like the theme where you're
I
working.
like that when you can't take the juice box obviously, but no bottles, no this, and so now they have like the house wine in a can,
Yeah.
right? They have it in a can. It's just strange, and I just think that's fantastic. Were I a wine drinker, I'd be chugging that shit like back in the day.
I might
Oh
have
my
to
God.
figure out how to get on the wine.
Shoot it.
the
No,
wine
Shotgun
train.
some Merlot.
Not really on the wine train, but we have to figure it out.
Well, I mean, you have to come to a tasting, and we lead you in gently into that good night.
Perhaps.
I mean, you drink enough champagne. We got you
I do.
halfway there.
I like the champagne. I
Yeah,
do
that's
like
what I
that.
mean.
Even the crappy shit that we did early on in the Oscars, that was fine too.
Yeah, but his crappy shit wasn't really crappy shit. I
Well,
don't
that's
think.
true. Now, but the Band-Aid wine or the Bridge wine,
The
whichever
Bridge
that,
wine.
that Doug brought.
God, I
That was
fucking-
lovely. That
was
was
lovely too, yeah.
That was
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The bridge wine before the.
And I honestly, I got rid of the recycles because I really wanted to look at that bottle because I think we were drinking something else. It was still French. It's that Alsace region that does the Cremant that I like. So it was nice. It wasn't that brio that we had the accidental pour for when we thought Best Supporting Actress.
Oh,
started,
right.
But it was really just Ava Marie Saint.
Who was seriously?
Right. I mean, it was wonderful that
Yeah.
she's still alive and kicking and
Right,
gives us all
and
hope
and-
that
still
90
alive
and
and
funny.
kicking.
and funny and like 90 might
Yeah.
be an easy age to be.
Looking in the camera, not having difficulty reading anything.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
no glasses, unlike everyone else that came out there
Oh,
as a
and
female.
I
That was
realize
interesting.
not as
everyone
old
had
as Eva Marie
rose
Saint,
freckles.
but there if you follow Jane
was- it
Fonda
was
on the
nice.
Twitters as I do, she posted pictures of
Mm-hmm.
going to the awards and all. I just cannot get over. I know she's had work done and that's not the point, but she just looks fantastic.
She really does.
Because you can do a little Stitch and Frankenstein on your face, but she's got an incredible body still. Like
Right.
Yeah, but
She has
think of
kept
how
up
many
that
people have had
exercise.
the stuff done. What's happening?
I don't know. What was that?
I don't know. It's just I feel like I'm underwater. It was like,
Wow.
my ears were plugged.
I know. Just
Are you-
something just happened. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Anyway.
Interesting.
try it again.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But she knows. But Jane Fonda looks
Oh,
fantastic.
Think about how many people have had plastic surgery
That went terribly
and look
wrong.
Right.
Awful.
Terribly
Faye Dunaway.
wrong. Faye Dunaway is a
Faye
prime example.
Dunaway.
Exactly.
She looked like she
Well,
should have
Faye
been out there
Dunaway
going.
and Warren Beatty next to each other.
Right, yeah.
Because
Well,
you've got to
she
pair
looked-
them with the workout tapes, people.
Uh-huh.
You're forgetting about the workout tapes.
That's a good call. Had she had Faye Dunaway,
She's still
should have
doing
been
her
like,
Jane Fonda
and our
every day.
first nominee and our second nominee. I mean, she looked like a horse. Those that her teeth were out to here, and there were way too.
Oh
many
yes,
of
they're
them.
huge.
And she was an odd looking
God bless
creature
her.
to start off
She
with.
certainly was.
So,
that's true.
and the one I can't remember if she's still alive or not, but Diane Cannon. Who I used
She
to
is
love,
alive.
Wasn't she
She-
on the Oscars a couple years ago?
She shows up every once in a
Yeah.
while.
And-
But boy, she's been pulled too tight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like I said that night on Sunday night at your house, I think what I want to do is have somebody make a wig for me that is Jane Fonda's hair now, just because I like it so much. And if I ever lose mine, that's what we're going to use.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like the astrology guy on the Telemundo channel with that
Right.
big hair. She just her hair. I love her hair. I do on
Yeah, it's
Grace and
beautiful.
Frankie. Whenever she just regularly out, fantastic.
Yeah. No, she's very very pretty.
Fantastic. But it was a good. It was a good time. It was an interesting show. They
Yeah.
changed the order and the sequence. It seems like of how
I
everything
thought
went.
it was wonderful.
Yeah,
Viewership
I
was
enjoyed it.
down by like
Was it really?
20%.
it always depends. Like there was no big blockbusters. It's always
Sure.
down when the movies aren't as big a hit.
Oh, okay.
There
Like a
was-
Titanic year.
Right, yeah.
I love the lead-ins that they had to things with showing all of the women and the different parts in.
Oh,
it
yeah.
seemed
all
like
the
a
clips.
very long.
'Cause I went back and watched
Hi, Mama
most of
Di.
it yesterday while I was on my couch.
Hi, Mom.
Right.
So I didn't we talked right through Shape of Water winning. So I didn't realize the charming thing that
Talked through a lot of stuff.
yeah we did.
Yeah.
But
The charming
it
thing
just
that
proves that
what?
we all have to get together a little bit more because we
Yeah,
had
that's a good point.
Even though you two see each other you had to hit the whole Melrose.
But we didn't
thing.
see each other.
I know, but I'm just saying you've just seen each other a week ago. But even you two
Oh,
when
sure.
you got together had
Sure. No, that's very true.
yeah,
that's
everybody
very true.
just had stuff to say and.
Yep. That's true. It was
And
very fun.
That was timed out
Mm-hmm.
to the second. So when somebody was like, "Can we start late?" I'm like, "Oh my God, please God, yes!" I have been running around like an asshole. This food is ready with 1 second to spare.
I was
And
glad
I
that it
wanna
wasn't
sit-
me asking.
And Joe, no, crepes were not made, but
No.
everything else was wonderful
They
because
really-
there was
and that's what I asked. I asked you. I'm like, "Are we not having breakfast?"
No.
I thought we were gonna make
'Cause
breakfast.
There's just no way to do anything in advance.
Sure.
You can't because pancakes an hour later are just gross.
Yeah.
right.
And I just kept thinking that through, and I'm like, I don't want to be making crepes
While
no.
it's on, yeah,
While
no,
it's
I get
on.
it.
No.
Yeah, I
And
totally
it
get it.
really was just the fact that I got the entire house cleaned and all the grocery
Everything
shopping
looked
done,
beautiful.
and then the twice baked chicken was done with a second to spare.
It was all good. Very
it
lovely.
needed another hour, and it would have been.
Well, apparently overnight worked out best
Yeah.
because with the oven left on overnight, the next morning it was just wonderful.
Not overnight. We turned the oven off probably about 11 or 11:30.
But it would have been
Sure.
10:30, 11 being in there. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And I thank you for, I don't know what the hell you were doing that. She cleaned my entire kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and then organized my Tupperware drawer.
Oh my God,
when
that
I
was a
opened
delight.
up, when I opened up the Tupperware drawer, I could not stop laughing. I almost fell over. I
It's
was
very
laughing
true,
So
he
hard.
did.
I'm like, she organized the Tupperware.
Well, I was looking for a lid, and by the time I had pulled everything out,
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
like so many things out of there. I'm like, well, this is dumb.
Right.
So then I just stacked them and put all the lids
And
in
I
one thing.
vaguely knew that you did it.
Yeah.
As we were cleaning up, I thought, wait,
Yeah, but that's when
Did
you
she
were
do-
screaming at me. You're like, get out here! And then I'd come out there and be like, yes.
because I was like, did you organize something? Because I was like, something's changed.
Yeah.
Something
Also,
in the
there's more
air.
cabinet space.
Yeah.
Something different in
Something's
here.
different in the kitchen.
So, yeah.
I mean, the other
that was
funny
fun.
thing was, mixing the welcome margaritas
Yes.
with champagne is by far my worst alcohol idea.
Oh, I thought they were delicious.
Oh, both were delicious.
Yeah.
They should not appear in your body at the same
At the same time, sure.
Oh, God
Sure.
was punishing me on Monday.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And I was trying to figure out if I could climb the step stool to put the ice buckets back up on the top shelf.
Nope.
I
No.
just jumped up on the sat on the counter and put them away like this. Because
That sounds like that would have taken a lot of energy, too, though.
yeah, but it wouldn't include falling off a step ladder and breaking my hip.
Fair point. That's a
That'd be
fair
bad.
point.
And if I got tired, I was just sitting on the counter. I could lean my head against the cabinets and sleep for a little while.
Oh, I'm so glad that I was like, no, I'm good with that.
Oh,
no,
my gosh.
I'm good right now.
Yeah, no. I pulled out the step stool and I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Nope.
that can't
Nope.
happen. The Advil dosing's not correct
Nope.
yet.
And all
Not
of
gonna
the,
happen.
and all of the post Oscars self analysis that we went through, which was really entertaining, because it wound up being the Wilk, you and I,
Mm-hmm.
Marnie, all in the living room, and it really was a round of, in the last 20 years, what has changed about you? What do you believe in yourself now? What was your biggest fear? It was all that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you would have enjoyed
We
it.
had thoughtful vulgarity.
Yeah, a friend of mine did that to, we went for wine a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago.
Yesterday.
Whatever.
We went out and she was trying to find a way for us to not talk about work. So she had these really fun questions that anytime we started to talk about work or bitch about something to get off that,
that
path
topic,
of just
right.
That's smart.
trashing people and it was just an interesting way to go so you don't get stuck with your
Worker
family
politics.
talking about work. Now politics is fine, but if you're with coworkers and you're just talking about work,
Yeah.
you don't get that relief.
You might
that
as well be
need.
at work.
Right.
You're right. You might as well go
Yeah.
back to work.
Is anybody else warm?
I think it's a
I
little
mean, a
warm,
little,
but-
sure.
Got it. Thank you. That's all I needed.
I'm comfortable. That means it's
Doesn't
warm.
matter.
Yeah.
No, that just tells you.
Overruled.
Yeah. No, if I'm comfortable, it's warm.
Yeah.
That is the rule to always go by.
I need to turn that up a little bit.
So what else did you do this week? You may as well start the show.
Yeah.
What else did I do this week? Let's see. Well, I went to lunch with Mom at Mom's on Sunday before I came to see you.
Nice.
Hadn't seen her in a couple weeks because of schedule. We going to Palm Springs and just the street fair and everything. Oh, that was what I did on Saturday. Was the street fair. It wasn't hugely successful. We have locally here in Phoenix. There's a little area called the Melrose District on a street that's about not even half a mile from here. And every year they do a street fair where they have all kinds of vendors. They block off a section of the street, car shows, vendors. They have a Humane Society truck with animals that I don't know exactly how you and Aaron escaped it without taking home an animal. But it was packed. I think it may have been the most successful street fair they ever had. It was great. I hung out at Stacy's most of the day, kind of babysitting just for computer systems. So just got through that day and I was just done. Because I started at 8 a.m. and I was done a little after 11 and I just was like,
Perfect
going
day
to
for
bed.
it.
Oh, stunningly beautiful weather.
Perfect day, yeah.
Could not have asked for more.
Yep.
I was almost sad I slept through Saturday.
Well, don't be
When I
too
got up
sad.
to pee, I
but,
thought
yeah.
that looks nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, at least you had that moment.
Yeah.
You're fine. No, it's
Beautiful,
fine.
beautiful weather.
Yeah.
I saw Hugger later that day, and he said they've been getting their asses handed
They
to them
did.
all day long.
Yeah. They opened at 10 and by 11 that bar was 50% full and then it just built.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
you the
everything.
patio
Front and
area.
back.
You could not from the front of it.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You could see that people couldn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh lord.
But it's always it's a good time. They get their ass kicked, but it's sort of like it's
what you do.
It's like a Pride weekend. Yeah, you
I
get
know.
your ass kicked, but when you come out on the other side, usually you've made decent money and you've had a good time. Most
I've
normally.
worked it over there before.
Oh, on the street fair?
Yeah, but
I was stuck around back in the parking lot with Kyle
Oh.
Ward. We had a great
Well,
time
at least
in the Cat Carlson
at-
Memorial VIP Lounge.
At least you're with Kyle
born
Ward.
there, wasn't
that's
it?
Kyle
right.
Ward makes everything
What's that?
better.
No, I wasn't born there. It was born before that, but
But isn't that where you
Wasn't
put out
it
the,
born?
the one chair?
no,
No,
that was
it was in a
at,
park down somewhere
That
else.
was at Cook Phoenix.
Oh.
That was a November thing, and like it only happened once thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was at Stacy's too.
No,
I thought
no,
it was
no,
in
no,
the
no.
back patio at Stacy's.
Yeah. Oh, you put one
No,
chair
no,
out
it
there.
just moved around a lot.
No, because if I'm not
No, you
if
did
I'm not-
something that said you own Stacy's or something.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Well,
that was
That's
that.
what
I
it was.
clearly did that. Yeah, they
That's
needed
what it
somebody to
was.
cover the bar while
That's
they took
it.
their employees on their holiday
Yep.
outing.
Oh.
And so I went and I
right.
printed my name and I pasted it like with masking
right.
tape over the sign, and literally had people walking in going, "Hey, why'd they change the name of this place?" To which I replied, "Tax evasion."
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
To protect the
Absolutely.
innocent.
Right.
And I like the people on Facebook that you were posting about it because you had actually always also made a location called Cat's Place or
Well,
something
sure.
like that.
Cats at Melrose.
Right, Cats and
Yeah,
Rose. And
uh-huh.
people are like, when did you buy a bar?
Right. Right.
Well, apparently this morning.
Yeah.
Today. One day only. I'm giving it back
Yeah,
tomorrow.
one
Right.
day
So
only.
one day
It's a
only.
trial
I didn't
run.
sign anything.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just trying it out.
Right, test driving a bar. See how that works out.
It went lovely.
You know what's funny? In the past 2 weeks, I keep having people tell me that I should open a bar, and I'm like,
Ew.
you have no fucking idea how much of a pain in the ass that is.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Aside from doing all of the liquor
Right.
stuff itself, but like, oh my God. Well, I mean, clearly, we've all worked in the bar industry. I've never been a bartender, but managing all of those idiots, I mean, it's a challenge.
Bartenders are the worst.
Bartenders,
I'm literally the reason I don't want to
bar
open a bar.
backs. I mean, there are exceptions to every rule, but I'm like, for the most part, you've got to just. It's like it is your circus, it's your monkeys, and you got to deal with all of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Bridget.
No.
Trying to work around my asshole schedule?
Yeah.
No one
No.
wants that.
Nope. And there's
Oh,
just
no,
so
no.
much more to it.
Right.
I mean, just I can't even.
I mean, my grandparents ran a nightclub, and I don't know how they all did it, except for the exception of way back in the day. It would have been my father and my mom and his brother. Like everybody else was supporting it. It wasn't just them. But wow, they want me to open a bar and a show bar at that because they're like, well,
It'd be fun.
you'd be the best person to open a show bar. And I'm like, well, thank you. I understand why you say that, but the capital alone, my God.
Oh, right.
None of,
Oh.
Oh
what
yeah,
are liquor,
the entry
A
fee.
liquor license is
liquor licenses are 80, 90,000.
ridiculous.
Right, and then the
And
show bar
depending
part
on
of it.
where they are.
Then putting on weekly or daily
Right.
shows.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
Yep.
Oh, we'd have a lot of old movie nights, I feel.
Sure.
I feel like there'd be a lot of
What's a
Oh.
theme that I can get ready this morning and have fully locked in on at 5 p.m.?
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
9 to 5. Something.
There
Yes.
it is.
Featuring Havana Nights.
Something like that.
I love it.
Anywho, well, that's it. And then again, whatever, 2 days ago or whatever, this little tickle started in my throat, and I'm determined to just kick its ass.
You're doing a great job.
I feel like I'm doing all right. I mean, sucking on brand new halls. I did realize that if you, because I've, years ago, you bought the pistachio bag. You buy a big
Right.
thing of cough drops.
Yep.
Well, they do tend to lose their impact over time.
Sure.
So the batch that I threw out from '97, I went and bought all new halls.
Best one used by this lifetime.
Right.
But I feel like every year I make the same complaint. I remember halls. It used to be Halls Mentholyptus. They used to be better. Like when you would suck on these little suckers, the vapors would shoot through your
Yeah.
head, and like you're like, whoa, like eating wasabi
Yeah,
and mustard.
But now
They're
they
not
can
as-
make meth out of it.
I was saying
So
they had to take all the meth out of it.
Yeah, damn it, it's just not
Damn
as fun.
Damn
Fuckers.
those children.
Yeah.
Not as fun. But I've
No.
got my vaporizer in my bedroom, so it was like the two cats and me were just sleeping last night stoned. So it was good. Good times.
And I recommend as much eucalyptus as you can find.
Yeah.
Oh, everything I've got has
Yeah.
Eucalyptus and everything.
Got it. Kat, what have you been up to? Oh, by the way, I like your shirts. I saw
You
your
like my shirt?
saw your post today about your mannequins, and it freaked me out because I didn't realize at first it was a mannequin. I'm like, well, that's an ill-shapen person
Oh,
because it just the one looked odd.
I
because
thought maybe
the
you
arms,
thought I'd been working out. I don't know.
no, the arms are kind of back on the one mannequin.
Oh, they are. Here,
and
I'll-
it looked
let
weird.
me send you a picture.
Yeah, do that. Actually, I can just get it from your
And
Facebook.
congratulations
It's on its
to
way.
both of you for your nominations and the
Oh yeah, that was a
Yeah.
surprise to me.
Echoes
Absolutely.
Reader's,
Reader's
Choice
Choice
Awards.
Awards.
Okay.
Lovely.
Absolutely.
We should put links in the old
Yeah.
chat about that.
Well,
Well, it's
God
real
bless
easy because
Amina
I set
sending
my
that around.
I set my website to redirect, so you and any Russian trolls that you know could go
Sure.
to catcarlson.com and they could vote
Oh,
Very
that is
nice.
a brilliant idea. I can
Very
read.
nice.
to hire some
I can
Russians.
read. No,
Oh.
Get some bots.
I can redirect. I can
Now,
redirect some things.
Those
Yeah.
here.
birdie
Wanna-
bots need something to do.
Might
Right.
want to leave the Russians. out of
Right.
it.
Yeah. So
Hey,
we
they win elections.
Yes,
we put
this, is
the-
the,
That's
this
true.
is the picture.
put the T-shirts in the store. Yeah, he does have kind of a weird.
Oh, that's a he. We're gonna assign a gender to this.
But he doesn't have any tits, so I'm assuming
Well, you don't know.
it's either.
Neither did
it's,
Nancy Reagan.
it's either. I don't.
Here is the picture in question. This is the mannequin. When I saw it, I'm like, that's an oddly shapen person. Then I realized it was a mannequin, sitting
mannequin,
on something.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody with a really long neck.
Or they're
Oh,
standing at
sure.
attention.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah,
What a
this
supple
shirt
neck.
is this shirt in tribute to voting for you for Reader's Choice Award?
Clearly, well, I need a conversation starter, and T-shirts seem to do that really well for me. So,
Cool.
two things were happening. Number one,
There you go, Joe. There are your two things.
number one, I needed a shirt that said, "Hey, go vote for us," that I could slap a web address on the back of. And I was messing around with Photoshop, trying to, increase my skill in flattening an image so that you could do a face or,
Oh,
a dog or something in a single color. That silhouette just doesn't happen. You can't just write off your iPhone, and it doesn't always pan out off of every picture. So I was messing around with it, and in the last 5 years, I've taken about 7 million
I
photos
can't
of
even
myself.
imagine that.
Right,
You mean
you
in the last 2 days?
You should see my photo roll. It's
Good lord.
it's full of T-shirts now. So anyway,
Oh yeah. T-shirts.
in any event, T-shirt. The fashion empire is just rolling right along.
Good.
And I made these today, so it just says it's got a silhouette of my own face. Because who wears a T-shirt with their face on it?
Cat
Fucking I
Carlson.
do.
You do.
Yeah.
And
Let me tell you, when Sharon saw this, so I
The
mocked
cat
this
is
up.
not silent.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
so I mocked this up just digitally last night. And I called Sharon into the office because I hide in my office a lot at home. And so I called her and I'm like, "Babe, come look at this. Come look at this." And she comes in and she rolled her eyes so hard like the walls shook. Honest to God, she
That's really funny.
is super not impressed at all. So if you felt an earthquake last night around 9 o'clock,
It was just
It
a
was
just
just-
dramatic eye roll.
it was just
Oh my
Sharon
God, that's real
being
funny.
100% over my
Right,
shit.
Right.
She's not impressed with
At
me
which point did you
all.
look
That
at her and
is
say,
so
"It's
funny.
only gonna get worse"?
Yeah.
Like it's not
But
going anywhere.
I asked her what size she wanted, and she just walked away. I don't.
That's
That's awesome.
fantastic.
That's funny.
She just turned around and walked on away, mumbling
Can
under
I
her
put
breath.
you down for 3 or 4 of these?
She said something about ego
Are you
and
just
full of
gonna
myself.
go measure what's happening, honey?
I wanted you to have one of you because your wink is your thing, your little wink. I think it'd be cute to have another one with a little wink on it.
I know, but turns out, let me tell you how many pictures I took last night of me trying to do a wink.
Doesn't
It
work out.
doesn't photograph as well as you think it does.
If you're
Yeah.
wondering what we're talking about, here's the web address on the screen for the Echo magazine.
That's the long way. CatCarlson.com will get you there.
see.
Well, that's true. That'll get you there too. But fine. Anyway, that's one of the links you can use. We'll post it in the chat room as well. But you can vote. If I'm not mistaken, you can vote You can vote once a day.
No, they seem to have it.
They've been locked down.
They seem to have it locked down because every time I go to vote again, it tells me I already have. God damn it!
But it says if you read the page, it says that you can vote daily.
I think that's yesterday because I think now they stick a cookie in your browser. Imagine if you
Oh, I
cleared
hate
your
when they
cookies.
stick a cookie
Is it like
in
an
your browser.
Oreo or is it a
I know, free
like what?
cookie.
I believe it to be
Yeah,
a
what?
Thin Mint.
Oh, I would
so they're
appreciate
getting all
it.
the fat kids. They're like, we're gonna
Oh.
get the fat kids to vote. I
What's
like
that?
it.
No, and I know in years past they've gone through, and weeded out all the duplicate IP addresses. So if I vote 7 times from my own
Oh.
house, they negate 6 of those, or maybe even all 7 of them. I'm not sure.
Bastards.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm really hoping for a win this year because it's been 10 years since my one win.
I saw you
I feel like I
posted
should
a picture of
bookend
that.
those.
Right.
Yeah,
There you go.
So you can vote
like-
for Cat for bartender.
cat for bartender,
And the Cobalt for
a plethora of things, all the bar
bunch
categories.
of things, and then the show is up for something.
The
Yeah.
we shows up for something that I individually am
Yeah,
as
for-
a host.
As
Yep.
the host of said show.
Oh, no, just
in general.
In general,
Like an
of
MC.
events around town.
Yep.
Hosting.
Yeah.
That seems more plausible.
Which means I just introduce people.
Yeah. Do you
Guess
know
what's
why?
next?
Because he got so mad. He's like, it's my show.
No.
I bet that's what he was thinking.
That's why I nominated him.
That's right. See, I
Joe,
bet.
I am printing these with a screen printing setup. I don't know that.
Joe, are you wired or something on coffee? You asked like 17
He's very
questions
busy.
already in the first 15 minutes of the
Which
show.
we do appreciate.
The hell?
So, frequent listeners might remember a few weeks ago when I had a bit of a manic episode, and
Just the one, dear.
Just the one, right? Exactly.
just this year's,
Well,
I got
debated.
tired of waiting 3 weeks for T-shirts to be made, and I had a bit of a manic episode one day, and I thought, well, fuck it, I can fucking do this. All I'm doing is white ink on fucking T-shirts. Anybody could do this, right? So then I went and bought stuff, and then I went and bought some more stuff, and then I'm on.
$30,000 later, she's
Right.
Less than 1,000 at this point. No, we're doing great.
Good.
But bought a couple more stuff, and now I'm on classified ads, like on
Okay.
the daily looking
Sure.
for stuff. Oh, I almost got a pressure washer from a lady yesterday, but I'm pretty sure she's selling her boyfriend's tools for crack money, so I kind of bailed out of that. Yes.
Why do you need a pressure washer?
Because when you make the image of the screen, the
Yeah.
pressure washer helps when you put the
Emulsion.
emulsion on it. The pressure washer helps to clean out all of it and leaves only the image that you want.
So do you need to just rent one?
So it's less so for when you're trying to create your image. It's more so for when you're trying to clear the screen and start over, because that emulsion kind of hangs on. And right now the solution is I go to the coin-operated car wash because they
So
have.
how much? But I'm asking, how much do you spend? Answer my fucking question.
How much do I spend at what the?
For the
What are you, Joe?
No, she
No.
wants to rent her
yeah,
power
I have
washer.
one.
Oh,
Oh,
You
I
make
see.
the shirt, I make the cash. What's happening here? Let's we'll work
that's
something
not
out
how
after the
that, any
show.
of this works.
I don't know. I was just
Put all my
seeing.
shirts.
I
I'm
don't
gonna put all
know.
my shirts on my wall.
Got to pay for that HBO somehow. Mom's like,
That's right. You know, it's not working.
So far,
Mom's
I'm
on
a,
a fixed budget now.
so far I'm about $6 a week into the car wash for cleaning screens.
Okay.
I was gonna buy the Crackheads power washer for $35.
$5.50. $5.50 is all I'm saying. Bring it here Tuesday night. You'll let us spray somewhere, right?
Well, we could water the lawn
I like
that
the
way.
car wash idea. You could water the lawn that way.
I mean, it's two problems, one elegant solution.
I have a
Let's
pressure
just say
washer
it.
too, but no.
Oh,
But you can buy brand new
Mine's
ones,
new.
small ones. You can buy them inexpensively,
Right.
so you'll be fine.
But why
And
not?
you'll find they can use it for a lot of
Clayton,
stuff.
Clayton's
Oh,
always
yeah.
trying to take
No, I'm
the
very excited
silver
about
spoon
it.
out of my mouth.
But yeah,
I'm
I'm
the
always
fight killer.
looking
Spent
at
to
the.
rent to own empire, and you shot her down.
Well,
Marnie Rents.
that's right.
Next week it'll be a goddamn
That's
flat
right.
screen.
It's like Rent-A-Center. I like
Right,
it.
exactly. Yeah, Marnie Center.
$14 a month that you could have
just
this
saying.
water bed
Yeah.
with the
Right
black
here.
lacquer
That's right.
headboard.
That's right.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And after a year, you still owe the original cost
That's
of whatever it is.
exactly
All you paid
correct.
is your interest.
Uh-huh.
This is
$14
a
a month.
fantastic idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is too.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with my classified ads.
But I
For
think it's
shit.
great that you're making the shirts. I think it's cool. I think that's so cute with your face on it. Now,
I think it's
how
fun.
many people, and I don't think, aside from the eye roll from Sharon, how many people have been like, that kind of looks like you? Do they realize it, or are they just,
So I just made this today, and so its first public appearance was at the Publico Italian Eatery.
And Abel saw it right away.
Yeah, Abel saw it right away and was like, "By the way, I can't with your shirt," because
Yeah, he knows
because
you.
he can't admit that we're friends, right? He's embarrassed of me,
well, a lot
and
of
I went
people
to
are.
see him at his other job. So
But I have
Understandably.
to say, it tells you where my eyes go that I didn't notice it.
well, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, this one's a little off center. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Oh, it's cool.
I saw
You're,
the
you're a
gold
little
one. I
off
like
center.
that.
I am a little off center.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
And I
Yeah.
like how you like you use the background of the black of the hair to put partially your vote thing, and I think
I know
it's all
I got
cute.
two colors going on.
I
It's
like
the first
it.
time I've ever done a shirt with more than one color.
Got it.
Very excited.
Very cute.
Learning new skills.
We really are. I am.
We're moving up in the world.
I'm
Hell
looking forward to
impressed.
putting in an
Nice.
order later at some point for something like will work for something, things like that.
Power
Alright.
washer.
No. Oh, now she's pissed. Now she's pissed.
Her
I'm just
revenue
saying.
stream just dried up.
I'd be happy to come over and use your pressure washer.
No,
if that's
I
a
wanted to use
thing.
his water.
Oh, goddamn!
I ain't no dummy.
She's renting. She's outsourcing.
I got
she
nothing.
is a mogul waiting to happen.
I didn't realize
Is that
I
the
was
right
going to
word?
get screwed out of this whole thing.
She's basically a Koch brother right
Yeah.
there.
Right, exactly.
Basically a Koch
I prefer
brother.
Pepsi.
My God, either way,
Yeah.
my
Minnesota oligarch right here in our midst.
midst.
I enjoy that. That's my T-shirt. I would like to have for free for the power washer.
Well, aside from creating a
Minnesota
Now she's entered the
oligarch.
barter
Minnesota
system.
oligarch.
The Minnesota oligarch. That's
aside
all I
from
got. Yeah.
aside from creating a
That
rent
is
to
great.
a
I
rent
like
to own empire, what else have you been doing?
We did. We went to a benefit on Saturday before the Melrose Festival thing for a little kid, 2 years old, 2.5, that has heart trouble.
Okay.
And so 2.5, he's already had a couple of surgeries and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But we at Jabs, the gym that we go to, we had a benefit for him, and they brought him in with his little brother his older brother, I should say. And it's very funny because if you have someone sick in the family, you have your warrior, right? Like brother warrior, mom warrior, that kind of thing. So he had his brother warrior shirt on, the older one, and they both had little boxing gloves,
Oh, how cute.
and those fuckers were so strong. It was unreal. But the little one with the heart issue had these little blue boxing gloves. Like it was just the cutest thing.
Oh, that's adorable.
And he went around to everyone and, did one of the. It was just whether you want kids like kids do that. It was fucking cute. And so
But they're
we
not
did
on
that.
an airplane. They're fine.
Well, or just screaming in general.
Or at a restaurant.
But yeah, so that was really fun. And then we went to the Melrose Melrose get together. And honestly, you're correct, Clayton. I don't know how we got out of there without a dog, but we did it, and it was like a coup. It was fantastic.
Because they see Aaron coming. They know.
Oh.
And one of the groups she's friends with, like she knows them.
Yeah.
And she's asking by name about the dogs, you said.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
How Skippy
Lord
and
of
Biffy and
mercy.
Bumper and Thumper, or
and
whoever
Butters
these
and
dogs- yeah.
this and,
Dancer,
fuck.
Prancer.
All of them. All
And
the,
it's Aaron Gaber.
Hi, Summer.
Hi, Summer.
Jesus, they did see her come. They were like, "Well, you need to come and you should volunteer and you should." And I'm
No.
standing behind her like, "The fuck is wrong with you? Shut up." And they just kept going because they thought, "Oh no," because that's good for them, right? That we have somebody. And I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
you don't understand. This isn't because how fun and we would take the dogs and be, foster failures or something, but this is because she told the county, Maricopa County, that Karen Control that she was so she could volunteer, not have to be with the dogs, not this and that. She would take all the blankets
And wash them.
and wash them.
Come on. The county's got to have a
Washer.
washers.
No, but that's part of. I mean, it helps. It helps them because that way someone else is doing that work and
Yeah,
they
that's
can be with
true.
the animals and whatever. So
You just got to have a
First of all,
dedicated washer.
Right,
oh no,
exactly.
we went to a laundromat, but because no,
Right.
it was not only just disgusting, but okay, fine. She couldn't go back. She could not go back.
They asked her not to come back.
No.
Oh.
Well, that would have been a great idea. But no, because she's sitting there like she was so messed, in such a space from having gone in there to begin with to get the blankets. I was like, no, people, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can't even see a commercial where a dog limps, for Christ's sakes. So she, no.
It's going to end badly.
Yeah.
God love
for,
her. But
for everybody involved.
yes.
All right.
So that I finally got them off of that topic.
You got that done.
I'm like, she's going to go ahead and she'll give you money. It's fine.
Yes,
But- Yeah.
financial's fine.
Financial backing is a
Don't
good
anything-
thing.
Right.
So, but that was very fun, and that was really about it.
Yeah, it's a-
This Thursday, I'm very excited. My mom doesn't know yet, so it'll be kind of an exciting treat, I think, for her.
Shady Pines.
No,
Wow.
it's the other one
You
that's
went
down
Eighty
down
the
pines,
street.
Mosh. 80
No.
pines.
Guess
No.
where we're going? Hope you like Jello.
No, I'm taking her to Secluded Oaks down the street.
Secluded Oaks.
It's just better.
That's funny.
That is
No,
funny.
that's funny.
Because that way she doesn't know when I say it.
Because it's secluded.
Yeah, there you have it.
Oh.
No
God.
windows, no
No.
release program.
You'll be fine.
Doo-dah,
They have
doo-dah.
TV 24/7.
Yeah.
But
So do I.
anyway, we're gonna go to see Katie Lang.
Oh,
Thursday.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so she doesn't know, and that's I think that'll be really something. I
That's
think that'll be neat.
cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell you in advance, the highlight of the evening is going to be her version of Hallelujah because
Oh.
that's become her signature
I
thing
love
now.
Katie Lang, yeah.
Oh,
Very
her
good.
version of
Her
Hallelujah
voice
is just
is-
butter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Just
cool. And where
chilling.
is she?
Chandler Center.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
that's,
Arts.
I thought I
Mhm.
saw an email because I'm on their list. I thought I had seen that.
So we are doing that, and I was thrilled that you gave us the 20th off, paid, right?
Sure, everybody
Yes,
makes the same
fully
amount.
paid, fully
I
paid.
just want to make sure.
How do you think we paid for Al's trip to Italy?
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I do
How
use
come
all
we
your
haven't gone to
I do
Italy?
use all your PTO.
I'm afraid of international
Yeah,
travel.
that's
so-
fair.
What's
that's
happening on
fair.
the 20th?
We are going to go to Tucson which isn't the exciting part, really.
Wow.
We're gonna go see Audra McDonald.
Oh, very
Yay.
exciting.
Yeah, at
Where?
Centennial Hall.
Okay.
So
Very nice.
All
those-
of you, like you and Mom
no,
and Aaron.
just,
You and Aaron?
and I.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
So-
my favorite indie band is gonna be in town, and I'm out of town, and I'm so
Who's that?
disappointed. Walk Off the Earth. They do some original songs. They do a lot of fun
The,
covers.
the name is Walk Off There.
Walk Off the Earth.
I've never heard of them.
They're very
Um,
fun. I like them.
Very
Okay.
fun, and their videos, like watch their videos, find their they remake songs that you know and just give them a little twist.
Okay.
They did the Somebody That I Used to Know with 5 people on one
Okay.
guitar.
Oh
they're-
yeah.
Where they all are 5 are playing the same guitar
Oh.
at the same time
Yeah.
and like harmonizing.
I remember.
And the one
Awesome.
guy's wearing a ring to turn the guitar into the beat.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then they did
Smart.
Shape of You with kids toys
okay.
and like little
Kazoos.
toy horns
Toy
and
instruments.
kazoos. And
So like really quite different, but like the pentatonics kind of thing. Only they
Right, but-
use
right, but they're-
use
yeah.
actual.
yeah, they're not acapella. They
Right.
just find weird ways to get the music out.
Sure.
They make they
That's
did a fun
really
version
smart.
of Little Boxes where they're all inside boxes in a
Okay.
room. The
That's
videos are
smart.
very clever, and then
The
they have
videos
their own
are.
music. And but they're here like March 11th, and I was
Okay.
so disappointed
Oh, thanks, Mom.
because I love them. Well done.
Oh, no,
You
what,
can,
what device?
Can
what,
you vote for the show?
what device did you
vote
vote?
for the
What
show?
device did you use to vote on that for that, Mom?
Oh, great question.
Because she's got a phone, she's got an iPad, she's got a computer. I'm not
You
sure
could
which
probably
device.
use all of them.
Yeah, you can. But I've already voted once off of her computer.
So maybe
For
it won't
you.
work there. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Well, I have several at this point. I have several computers at my disposal that I could log in and vote from.
Just
So,
sitting right there.
well, yeah. Oh, no, I've already done it on all of these. Everything that's in my house, I've already used to vote.
I have utilized the same technologies. Yeah.
I fairly
every
have
one of the
voted just
kids
the
like.
once.
Oh, Summer, we are Echo Readers Choice Awards. I will put the link in the chat room here in a minute. Actually, Kat Carlson do it because
Oh,
it goes
she
directly
will.
to her page. It's a local magazine, gay magazine, that they take nominations for a couple weeks early in the year, and it accumulates into an award ceremony that they used to do at Pride every year, but I don't know if they're doing it this year there or if it's an after.
I haven't heard. They used to just fling the plaques off the main stage at the worst time of Pride.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
always.
always
Yeah.
like the middle of the afternoon
Yep.
when nobody's around, and they're just poor. Was it Bill Getty that used to stand up there and try and hand plaques off the main stage? And then they went to like an awards show kind of a thing where we would all go show up at some
Actually
sketchy weird
hosted
bar
one with
downtown.
Katie.
Ah, sure.
Yeah.
Copper Blues, I
We
Yeah,
hosted
hosted
years
a couple
ago.
of times. We had them at the Wrigley Mansion a couple of times. We had them at Copper Blues. We had them at one of the Amsterdam conglomerate.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the year that I
Yeah.
went.
Anyway, and then they went away from that and went back to kind of flinging plaques off the main stage. And last year, they just announced the winners, and then we held like a reception
At Cobalt,
at
right?
the Cobalt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
So I
that's
haven't
right.
heard, and I haven't reached out to see what they're doing this year, and if I should be planning an event or.
Right.
I'm sure you can make a shirt for it.
But there should be shirts.
Yeah,
Probably
you're
so.
right. Well, she got the first one to go vote, so and the link
Yeah.
is in the chat room.
There you
Yeah.
go.
CatCarlson.com will just help you.
It's
And-
easy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
K-A-T. Just remember,
Okay.
K-A-T
Yeah.
Carl.
It sounds the same either way, but you're gonna get a very different place if you spell it wrong.
Yeah. Kitty Cat Carlson.
Yeah.
So,
You have fine, sir?
yes, the.
Have you packed? Have you packed yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Sure. Not at all.
Not at all.
But I have
There's a
everything. I have to-
toothbrush and a Ziploc bag.
I
That's
have
all
to
he's
do
got.
I have to do a load of laundry, and then I'm good. Then I'm ready. Went and
Sure.
bought a couple pairs of jeans because it's all pants weather.
Okay.
So we can't mix and match shorts because it's never gonna be.
And I forget, is this a solo trip for you, or are you meeting somebody there?
Matt from New York.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna meet up with us, I think, on Monday, and then Chris. I never know if anybody knows Chris, but Chris and his husband Jose and I, we go to P Town. We were just in Puerto Vallarta. We start the trip off together, and then Matt meets us, I think, in Florence or in
Okay.
Venice. But we start off in LA together. Our journey begins there.
Oh,
Because we found out how much money you could save by booking LA to Milan versus here,
okay.
and then just grab a $69 Phoenix to LA ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes for a little bit longer bit of travel. It's one of those time versus money things. This was such an inexpensive ticket that I was like, yeah, I'm good with spending
And how
2
long are
hours
you?
in LAX.
How long are you actually in Italy?
10 days.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is.
So it's
love it.
nice. It's the first couple days are a little jam packed, just because it's Milan. I don't really know that. I've never. It's not a city I've ever really wanted to go to, so we're just gonna see it and get out. And then Venice, everyone says see it before you die.
Okay,
Get out
before
and
you
then-
die.
Right. So those first 2 days are rushed, and then we do wine tours and take our time through the countryside. But so this, I was asked to be part of this charity for a doctor that I worked with for many years, and my friend Jenny, he was a father figure and a mentor to her, and many doctors that I worked with, and many nurses. Just a very kind, grumpy old man, but with the heart of gold kind of thing. That would at first he'd piss you off, and then you'd be like, "Oh, he's delightful." He passed away last
Is this a
summer.
story about me?
unexpectedly. Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's
except for the
basically your
passing.
eulogy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Did
he
you say
passed-
last summer?
Yeah, he passed away unexpectedly last summer.
Okay.
And so my friend Jenny and one of her colleagues, Bob, put together this endowment to kind of do like what he would do on the sly with like helping families out. And it's, when you're visiting us in the ICU,
Sure.
it's a rough time, and so sometimes it's just giving somebody money to go get something to eat,
bet.
or offering somebody like an Uber ride so that they don't have to drive when they're that stressed out.
That's nice.
Just kind of helping people out. So this it started off and is this, and then it turned into something else, and then I was invited to be part of the
The board.
board, whatever. And now it's
Steering
turning
committee.
now it's turning into a private charity because of like the rules with the hospital and stuff like that. It's taking all these different turns. So I've been doing these morning meetings like once a week. And Friday night we had a gala for it. That was really fun, and silent auction and a way to get money back. So in the middle of this crazy busy month, there was this going on, and
Wow.
it just turned out lovely. I had to go in scrubs. I had to work after, but we wanted people to know to come
Sure.
before work, after work, come in scrubs, come dressed up, whatever you need to do. But we didn't want someone to think, oh, I can't go after
can't.
work, or I
Right,
can't go
right.
before work. So I was the first one there in scrubs, and of course you
Very
have to share it.
nice.
And like some people dressed up because they saw the word gala. This one lady was like, "I bought a dress, and you're here in scrubs." I'm like, "It's we want the nurses to show up because how the money will get dispersed to people, if it does, will be through the nurses, the chaplain services." So it's been it's just an odd thing to say that I have something to do with a charity now. Like, I answer questions
think it's
about
great,
share.
though.
It is. I mean, it really is, and it's very nice. And working with these people for something that's such a nice, it's just a thoughtful way to handle some of this. And it was my idea to get the chaplains involved because I think the family members talk to the chaplains about different things than they would talk to the nurses about, or to the doctors. Like, the chaplains might get a little bit more information about, we're starving to death. We can't afford to park here. Where the fuck are we? Because people get flown in from all over the, Colorado,
Sure.
Colorado, northern Arizona, like all over. Like
So kind of like a Ronald McDonald House kind of thing.
yeah, we can't go that
where-
far. I mean, it would have
No,
to become
but-
much.
right,
Yeah,
right. But
right. Because that, I mean,
on
that
a
would,
lower scale.
right?
but-
That would be the goal.
Sure.
Would be like to have that kind of money, but then we need to, we need T-shirts. We need.
Of course. Well,
we
get
need
on that,
stuff,
Kat.
so-
I have a power washer.
I know that you'd mentioned it before. When does the new tower?
Waiting
when
for
is
the
it
email.
scheduled to be open?
I'd give you that for
The
that.
first people move. Well, the emergency department's open already. That opened
Wow.
last June, so the bottom floor is open, and then our meeting this Thursday morning is in the administrative level of the new tower, and then we all start moving over. There's one more building that has to be torn down, so they have to move administration and a couple things around, and then I think we all start moving in like the end of this summer into fall. Then we start
Wow.
moving department by department. So for a while, that campus is going to be even bigger because you're going to be going between two different towers. So you could move a patient like between like the 17th floor on this side to the 11th floor on this side.
Right, but the original tower is not coming down.
No.
They're going to keep it just
It looks
30
so weird.
Right, but
Because they're it's two different. It's
right, two different
so
architectures.
Two different animals. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's just so weird.
Right,
So it's
but it'd be a shame to take a perfectly good hospital and level it.
they're tearing down shit left and right over
No,
there.
right, but I mean the tower that you're currently working in, they just can redo some stuff and it becomes a whole different animal. right?
Right. Plumbers would need to be involved.
Okay. I don't need to know
For
about
some
that.
reason,
They do fine work.
I bring plumbing curses to wherever I go. I don't know why.
He's been to my house. Like, what
Is it your
happened?
diet?
I wish I could say.
Do you need that knife that we
Yeah.
talked about that story? Bathroom
like,
knife.
You know, my bathtub wasn't
knife.
sealed, so
Right.
like it ruined some woodwork.
Yep.
And where Doug and
I
I had the
remember that.
townhouse, my bathtub wasn't sealed, so it dripped down into the kitchen.
My.
Like every problem with the plumbing at BS West from day one till the
Still
end.
has
like,
problems.
Yeah.
No.
Perhaps it's your bathing habits?
Not when it's at a bar. Like there's just.
I don't know your life.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're
We're
doing.
not judging. We're not judging.
That was very exciting to have that go off smoothly, thanks to everyone else's hard work. Like, I mean, I basically did nothing but show up and like invite as many people as I could possibly think of that had worked with this guy or was friendly. So, but it was a good turnout, and like for something that was pulled together in 4 short weeks because somebody had a credit at the Sheridan that they had to use, which was just
Oh.
Right.
funny.
That's smart, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good way to use it.
Somebody was like, you know, we booked the room at a Sheridan on a no refund policy, and we have 30 days to use it. Can we put something together?
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, here we go into
I
a
love
segment
it.
that Kat seems to forget that we have, and it goes
shit,
like
me
this.
too.
No, I'm ready.
Obsession.
Oh.
Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares?
Obsession.
This segment is for you.
Obsession.
Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession
Obsession.
with the show with Clayton McKee.
So I actually have mine this week
Dun,
Whoa.
dun, dun.
Whoa.
because
Oh, that's what they stole from us at Will and Grace. Did
Oh,
you
the
see Will and
dramatic
Grace?
stinger.
They did the dramatic stinger
That
on Will
that
and
is
Grace. She
that
got-
is right. When she went.
they
that is
stole
true.
that from us.
When Karen was watching the cameras in her house where the cook and all the people were working, and
Oh,
then
I
she
bet-
was creating a telenovela love story,
Yeah.
and when they finally kissed or something, she was like,
And I just cracked up. I'm like, those bitches are back to stealing from my life again. Anyways,
Thank
break continue.
goodness they did. So I like 2 years ago I found this show called You're the Worst, and it was like it's horrible garbage people that are like weirdly charming, and it's kind of like this fucked up weird love story, whatever. And so I watched the first season, and then I forgot about it, and it somehow Hulu forgot that I had watched the first season, and so it kept telling me like, oh, you know, you started episode 1, so I didn't realize there were 2 more seasons. So that's been my obsession. I've watched 18 episodes in the last 2 days.
Jeez, look at that.
Yeah, catching right up. And interestingly, like in the second season, they dive into like this girl's like clinical depression and like mental health and like how they're dealing with this, all while surrounded by just filthy dick jokes and drug references and alcoholism. It's
"Oh,
a good time.
So
had
it's
well.
the show.
it's us, right?"
Yeah.
but
oh,
with a
yeah.
lot more cocaine. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Well, any cocaine.
yeah.
'cause
Exactly.
Don't let
We're
anybody think
trying
that
to
we
get
have
it all-
some in here.
Yeah, we're trying to get it all done with coffee.
Yeah,
We're doing a great job.
coffee and Hall's cough drops. Yes, absolutely.
Still
yeah.
Colombian.
It's been a non-stop stream of that.
I have to check that out.
Yeah. Mark?
So yeah. I swear to Jesus, I was gonna try to stay away from the political kind of thing as far as my obsession. I did last week, but I
Right.
mean, let's not push it. Let's
Right,
not
right.
get crazy, people, because there's far too much fucking fodder out there.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God. And it is
for-
on.
for real.
We all thought it was at 100% before.
Not even
It
close.
is getting there now.
It is just shooting right and left. I
Yeah.
mean, this is crazy.
There's no bottom. There's
and
no
there
top.
is
It's just
my
a
my
sunken
kind
place.
of
Like a pressure washer on.
well, if somebody
Wow.
fucking pay for it is what I'm saying. But
I'll give you $30 for it.
$31,000 dining room table.
$42.50. Anyway, so
$35.
$37.95.
Actual retail
Sam
price.
Nunberg.
Oh my God.
I fucking can't.
Well, that's
It
a
was-
that's a time saver because that's
I
mine.
mean,
That
'cause
was amazing yesterday.
I didn't realize that he had been, for those that have no idea, for real, if there is anything that is has it.
It was priceless.
It was fucking priceless. Sam Nunberg is a former Trump aide, and I saw him with Jake Tapper, right? So
Right.
I heard him when he was with Jake Tapper, but he apparently
He
talked
started
to
with he started with
everybody.
Katie Tour by phone, and I was sitting at my
Did you see him
desk.
with Jake Tapper yesterday or a couple of weeks ago when he got in
Yesterday.
trouble?
No, a couple weeks
Okay.
ago he got in trouble for. I don't even remember what it was. He got in trouble, but this was yesterday
Because he went on
when.
TV to say he got subpoenaed a couple of weeks ago, and then he did it again.
No, but yesterday he's like, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm sending you the
Oh,
subpoena.
it was-
I'll send you the whole thing, Jake. I'm not gonna give anything up. I'm not gonna give him any of that information. I'm not gonna spend 80 hours, 30 hours, 20 hours. It all depended on what he was saying.
The unwinding of everything. It was fantastic.
It was the movie
My
network
mouth was hanging out.
played
Yeah, you're right.
out live.
On every network.
I could not, and I was a captive audience because I was hungover and praying for death.
Oh,
But not really death, just praying that I didn't have to lay down after putting away 2 dishes. But I did.
I'm not
And
laughing because it hurts.
I could not take my eyes off of it, and it
Oh,
started
it was great.
God damn
early. But then
It did, and I
turned,
didn't know that.
It turned into something that I think they all of them, all of the places. I'm sure Fox News was reporting about a cow being loose, but.
Because I don't think. Because I don't. He didn't hit. He didn't go Fox.
No, right, because they wouldn't
Yeah.
cover a story
No.
like that. But because he's Roger Stone's protege,
Right.
it turned into Black Mirror. And if you watch Black Mirror, it was Black
Oh,
Mirror.
no.
It was the next news story talking about interviewing him, and then the next hour he would show up again for another interview and be even weirder. And then the next hour they would talk about the last 2 times he showed up on TV. And
He'd
it
show
turns
up
out the
again.
hour that he was missing,
No.
he was at CNN.
Yeah.
So then you'd find out that he was on he was on MSNBC 3 different shows, 1 by phone, 2 in person. He
Jake
was on
Tapper
Jake
was
Tapper,
like-
but then the topper,
When he was on
topper of Tapper
Ari Melber?
was he was on
that was fantastic.
Erin Burnett, who I
Yes.
wanna
Oh,
know.
she's like, I smell alcohol.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
no, other than my meds. I
And
was
then
like,
she's like, what
what?
meds? And he's like, antidepressants. I'm like,
I don't take anything.
honey.
Antidepressant.
Oh, no.
And
Yeah.
it just.
God.
It went from I'm not done to I don't take anything to I take
He
antidepressants.
may as well have looked up and been like, I don't know, maybe it's the crack cocaine I did
And he just
earlier.
kept asking everybody, "Will you think they'll put me in jail? Because I'm not going to jail.
I'm not.
Or I'll
Screw
just
that.
laugh at
No,
Fuck
him."
he started
that.
off
I'm
with,
not gonna-
He started off with I'm not going to jail and that laughing, and then it was do you think,
think
I'll
they
go
will?
to
Yeah,
jail?
but
And
he was
then-
like a 4-year-old. Do you think, Jake, that they'll put me in jail?
Okay, so then it got weirder because if you stayed around later in the night, then they started interviewing. Like Brian Williams interviewed Ari.
Ari Melber,
I
Ari
remember.
Mel-
Yeah.
So now
So did,
you're
what's his
interviewing
face?
your other.
Yeah.
co-host.
Yeah.
Now your co-host, people from earlier shows.
Earlier
you're
Right.
shows, right,
interviewing-
right.
Yeah.
So now you're interviewing
I mean, I
somebody
meant
that's
co-host on the
already,
network.
yes, somebody who had a show.
3 hours before.
And they were all saying phrases. And go back and watch.
It
Every
was
one of them
fantastic.
says.
Rachel was like,
But every one of them says, "Oh, I called him. Oh, I called his family." Because this guy, I guess he's so like vivacious and he's such a good source for all of them, and they're kind of entertained by this fool who got off of it. Okay, here's how bad it is. You know why he got kicked off the team? He had the racist shit on his Facebook page. How racist do you have to be that Jeff
Really?
Sessions is in and he's out? Because, oh yeah, that's why he doesn't work on the.
And one of the things they brought
That's
up
why
was
he-
the
That I
fact that
didn't
on
know.
Ari Melber's show, he's sitting across from a
Jewish guy.
No, well, a Jewish guy
Yeah.
and a black lawyer who tells him, "Do you have anything to hide? Then you need to go testify." Blah blah blah. So it was later brought up that he was freaking out because he's being told by a black woman what he needed to do, and that further added to the insanity for him.
Yeah.
Because she was like, she's like, "Do you realize you can help him if you're saying there's nothing to hide by you giving information?
Right.
Will save him." She goes, "Unless you found something." Oh no.
And it had me because the night before he was ready to testify and showed him, and then he calls.
In
And there's
24 hours, he
collusion.
changed his story.
No, not even. It was from the night Brian Williams at night to Katie
Katie Tur
Chur in the morning,
Right.
and he called in.
called in.
He had probably been up
Fox
for
calling
3
into
days. Like,
no, and then but I mean it was so now.
It is
little manic.
fantastic.
Here-
Well, and
here's-
forgive me, because whether I'm being mean or not, and this
This is probably
me-
boring the rest of you that aren't local, but oh my God, with the crazy shit that goes on with our politics right now, watching that live unwind, and they were
I
giving
think this
him.
one transcends borders.
Oh,
Like that was
it
just.
it was amazing.
I
It was
mean,
amazing.
You know, Trump knew about. I mean, just everything.
Oh yeah.
He would just.
oh, he
be
did
like,
something. I don't know what it
Trump,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Trump did something. They're going to find him guilty of something. I don't know what, and I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I did
mean,
find it funny that every time he went on the other networks, he's got a folded piece of paper, and he was on every network with the same folded piece of paper.
Oh, no.
I just thought that was funny.
So
It
he
was
has
the
like
list
his
of
talking
names.
Right.
points or
Well,
something?
it was literally his subpoena.
It was his
with the
subpoena
list of
with
names.
The list of names, and he's
and all
like, I
the-
want them to pare it
Oh
down.
yeah,
But he-
they put the subpoena up on the TV.
Oh, and at one
Because he
point
had
the
it with
camera,
him.
right? At one point it's laying on the camera just zooms right in on
Yeah.
it. Oh
Donald
my God.
Trump is
Oh, when-
number 4.
When he
No,
goes,
3.
I mean,
He was the
3?
third one
Okay.
down.
when he
Okay.
goes, do
Wait,
you want
this
to
is
see
real
it?
life?
This is
Yes.
unreal.
It was all day yesterday. When they started interviewing each other, I'm like, now we're at Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Like, this is the
Oh my
10 minutes
God.
into the future where you're interviewing the host of the 3 o'clock show
It was insanity.
about a guy that's been
Ooh,
on
did it again.
every other hour. And then when they don't usually share each other's, like, clips.
yeah.
Right.
They're usually pretty, whatever that word is.
Selfish? No.
Proprietary, but then
Sure.
you keep your
Yeah,
own,
that
you
would
keep your
work
own stuff.
there. Yeah.
Well, they were all of a sudden showing him on Aaron Burnett, and I'm like, now the news is now watching the news.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Like it's this
For sure.
weird. How did we get here? And I really wanted to say it was
So
to the
weird.
Yeah.
undermining.
5-letter word.
It really
Trump.
is the unraveling of like they just went too far
Oh yeah.
in. Like somebody had to lock him out. So then today, fresh off a series of tumultuous TV interviews, ex-Trump campaign aide Sam Nunberg revealed Tuesday that he is contemplating seeking treatment for alcohol abuse.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
Oh yeah, I've been obsessed with this because I woke
That's
up today and I'm like,
fabulous.
I gotta see where we're at. But Aaron Burnett's like, I smell alcohol on your breath. He's
Right.
like, I just want to say, but they all.
And Ari had said that he didn't smell it.
No, but
So-
Ari did. Oh, okay.
Later in the
again,
day.
I'm
again,
just saying.
No, but you don't have all day to spend like
No,
I did.
yeah,
so
I
I'm
didn't.
always like, oh my god, why weren't you there for 9
Oh, yeah,
hours? Because you have a life and
I
people,
worked. I don't know.
Not
people that care
hungover.
about you. So he was talking about that he spoke with him and his father, who wanted to remain off the
Right.
record
I did
about
hear
his
that.
health, and I'm like. Why are we talking about that? Like, first,
I
why
did
are you
hear
able to
that.
call his home and speak to his dad?
Yeah.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, but
He's-
he didn't seem like one.
No.
Oh God, no.
But,
There was nothing. I mean, honest to God, Kat. He was like. You know,
but this is the kind of shit
but
that should
should
go on.
I, Jake? What do you think? Do you think I should do that? I don't think they could do that.
Yeah, but
they
you're-
won't put me in
But
jail.
you're missing the maniacal laugh that kept happening.
Oh no! You're right.
yeah! In the middle of it, you're like, what am I watching? What
the
am I?
hell?
What the fuck
Oh,
am I watching?
Uh-huh.
And he looked like John Lovitz.
he really does. Do you want to see a picture of him? I'll show you. It's right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like the.
Well, he isn't that. Look at that.
in
This
that
is a-
stash
I
show.
know,
What-
right?
what
That
was,
wasn't him.
What was his
He's
catchphrase?
like, no, I didn't. He was the lying.
He was the lying
Yeah.
guy. In the opening, he's the recruiter in A League of Their
yeah,
Own.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
leave
yeah.
it up
that's
for
it.
you.
No, I know.
That's the ticket.
That's the ticket.
Yeah,
I
man,
mean, it-
fetch I am.
yeah.
that's the
Look
ticket.
at that.
He was.
I knew Donald Trump. That's right.
It
That's
was
the ticket.
phenomenal to watch it yesterday because again, like you said, I just leave MSNBC on all day, so I got to watch it through hour, and then they would literally cut to the clip because, well, now he's across the street at CNN, and here's what they did, and like they
And
just
that-
kept doing
I
it.
was like, well, I was like, well, why doesn't he just sit through 8 hours? But it turned into Alex Jones, Fox News. We caught a crumb of something in the morning, and
Yeah.
we're just gonna beat this horse. I'm like, you're really not informing anybody. You're kind of enabling this clearly unstable guy and giving him
Right.
way too much attention. And I think it could come up.
Yeah, but I think they were
But I think
waiting
it's- but I-
for like some real
Oh, no, they were.
vomit information.
Yes, that's
Oh,
exactly
I
what they
think
wanted.
I'm perfectly willing to vomit it, but I think it's
Well,
going to
sure.
hurt. And if he gets subpoenaed, that they're going to say he was unwell, and you guys showed 8 hours of him being mentally unstable. Like
Well, we can look at it and say that. I don't know. He didn't look drunk because I kept looking and like I was
but
like,
he looked unstable. It was
Yeah.
just It was
He
just
sounded
that Black
unstable.
Mirror thing of like the news reporting
I
on
don't-
the news, reporting on the news.
And my thought, I don't think it's really going to make a bit of difference because I believe what somebody else said. They've already got all these emails.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
all they're doing is doing a cross reference to but they've already got it.
And
they
that's
got the
what Roger,
data.
Roger Stone was on Meet the Press Daily
Yes.
today, and he said, as far as he was concerned, they, under the FISA rules, FISA laws, they had gotten his emails last January.
Oh.
Yeah.
And like the one thing he's accused of is he couldn't check my passport. I haven't left the country. I didn't leave the country last year, so I could not have been in Russia for this meeting.
Okay.
You can have the passport. So I mean, he was ready. He was
Okay.
that was a very legit interview today. But so that was my obsession too because
I
I
agree.
could not look away. But all I thought was like MSNBC turned into Fox News yesterday. It just turned into feeding. You know what I mean? Like and we've talked about that when the New York Post, which is owned by Murdoch, would run a paper of Janet Reno throwing out a baseball in a game, and then it would say people are saying she looks like a lesbian because they're just taking their own news story and turning it into people are saying. Then by the time you get to Sean Hannity, he's got an opinion piece on
Sure.
something that was never a story in the first place. I mean, there was a lot going on, but that's how if you weren't like really liberal and really weren't after Trump, it just seemed like crazy people finding their new clown. It just got to me. It just got an ugly tone.
With
to it.
everything
I
that's
can
gone
see
on in the
that.
past 2 years, and we have seen a lot of reporters and interviewers literally be like, "What just happened?" I've never seen this many people
Stumped.
just look stunned at what this guy was just saying. It wouldn't stop.
It was like a mirror. They were they looked like I did at home. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, I'm not nuts because Katie Tur is like, look, just and she can't see anybody because she's talking to him on the phone.
Right.
And she's like, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
And you could see it when she said, you have to. If last night you said you were going to answer questions and you got the list, what did you find in these text messages
Right,
and emails
right.
that made you say this morning you can't go? So I was thinking, did he just like realize what he's gonna incriminate somebody and just start power drinking?
Sure.
And then because they're all willing to have him on TV, like
I was
don't know.
astounded.
He did not. I just.
So I'm looking-
He may have been on something.
So I'm
but
looking
that's-
forward-
that's
he
a
was drunk.
news day that
Yeah.
was just a
Sorry.
I'm
treat
looking
have.
forward to
Wow.
when we're done.
Yeah.
I go get in my recliner and watch Rachel because it was on all day. But now you need to see how this is all going to be put together. And then it's astounding. You start with Chris Hayes at 6. You go through everything. Even at fucking 11 o'clock our time,
Right.
or excuse me, it's 9 o'clock our time. When you get to Brian Williams that late in the fucking day on the East Coast, and there's still shit happening.
Yeah.
It's just astounding. It's astounding.
Because he interviewed
He was like, I think it'd
Ari,
be funny if they were.
and Ari was talking to the guy's dad, and I'm like, and he's like,
What do you?
is his
think
father a
was
lawyer? Oh, he was
like,
off
then
the
he
record.
become like a little kid.
You can't say if he's a lawyer. Like that's his profession's on the record. Like,
Yeah.
bizarre,
Yeah.
bizarre.
Aside from
But
that,
a great day to have a hangover.
Huh.
it was entertaining as
entertained.
shit.
It was
The other thing was and piggybacking that today on the news was in the little news conference that they had with the prime minister from Sweden. One of the reporters asked him about people leaving and Trump's whole thing about everybody wants to work here. I've got the best people. Blah 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 blah. The minute that was over and the Dow Jones closed, boom, the financial director bailed on him, resigned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
didn't
everybody
see that.
everybody wants to work at the White House. We got people everywhere wanting to work.
I have the best people, the very
and
best
then
people.
this guy killed. So now they're watching the Asian markets to see how much they tank. And then the opening, obviously, here tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I wonder how my
I mean,
Bitcoin's going to do.
honestly,
I know.
It's a comedy
my-
of
my
errors.
That might be
favorite-
the only real money left.
My favorite thing was
Oh,
when
it's
he
still
just
down.
yelled out a couple of different times. Donald Trump's an idiot. I loved it when
No.
Hindenburg just yelled that out a
But
couple times.
how racist was the thing on your Facebook page that
Got you fired.
Jeff Sessions is
I'm like,
allowed to be the
I
attorney?
didn't have anything.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if Jeff Sessions is
Right.
allowed to be attorney general,
Look
but
that up.
this guy was too racist, where's that line? What did he do?
Right.
Right.
Like
Right. How do you cross that?
they banned Jeff Sessions was voted down 20 years ago by Coretta Scott King. Came and spoke at the Capitol and was like, "This is a Confederate soldier here, fuckers! Like this is the most racist human alive."
Right.
And he got 51 votes for to be the attorney general.
Yep.
But this other fucker got fired. Like what is it? What was it? What was it? What is that? What is the line?
Let's see.
We live in a world where I don't understand anymore.
I don't know.
Like yesterday just blew my mind.
It's a lot of things that happened while I was watching a shitty sitcom on FX
No.
Ocho.
Now you
I
can-
know. I really should have texted you and be like, "Oh, just sit back
Watch
and watch
this.
the news. Turn this into a drinking game."
The,
Oh my gosh.
Now the other thing that happened, and I meant to mention it last week and I forgot, and I'm sure you could all chime in on this one. The beginning of this month marked me living half of my life in Phoenix. I've literally been here half my life, and I didn't know how if there were benchmarks for you all as to I don't know when that hits for everybody because you moved here
It's been about the same thing.
about the same, okay?
Yeah, because
Because you came in 94, 97.
well 91 for 6 months.
Okay.
Then I went home
Doesn't count.
and right, I know that's but 93. So I've been
Okay, so same as me then.
26
All
years.
right. Yeah, okay, same as me.
Yeah, so it's been half.
Got it.
I don't know how to do the math to get to.
Well, how old were you
Like
when you
half-
got here?
And I don't know
Oh, sure,
Summer,
that's a good way to
'cause
do
I'm
that.
hearing it in two.
Because I'm thinking,
I don't
well,
know,
I've been
yeah.
here for 15 years, so I'm not quite half. So then
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
passed half
that's
a long
a
time
smarter
ago.
way to go.
How old
Yeah, it
were
works
you
out
when you
really well.
moved here?
Fucking math.
No, I mean
23.
it's been yeah.
I was,
So
Both
about,
of
I
us
was
were.
about the same. I was 23.
Yeah, I was 23 and I had my 24th birthday. Yeah, because I had my 24th birthday here.
Yep.
And then 25 was the big one.
Oh, I passed half my life a long time ago.
Because I was 20, it was my 24th, the summer of 23, before I turned 24 is when I came out. And then came out, that all went well. And by my 25th birthday, I was with my mom, Miss Ebony and Davina with strippers at Winks in a corner booth.
Oh my God, I have that
So
picture.
what a jump from
I love
23,
it.
24 to I'm in a booth with my mom and strippers for my 25th birthday.
A lot of things
My
happen
God.
there, yeah.
yeah,
Made up for a
that
lot of
accelerated quickly.
Yes, it did. Made up
Really
for some lost
escalated.
time.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I
My
love it.
mom, Miss Ebony, and some strippers in a corner booth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like
Has
a
it been a year already?
That's a sentence I will never get to say.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
There's that. That's true.
So I found it. Not to go into it, but I'll look through it because I found the article about him being fired for the racist Facebook post. So I'm gonna try to figure out.
Yeah,
what
they all
are.
say it, but they don't. I haven't had anybody say what it was.
Oh, it was the use of the N word. That was one of the things because they actually
Oh.
said that on MSNBC today. That it was the N word. Something about the use of that got him in trouble.
Okay.
Huh?
My gosh.
Goodness. So yeah, that takes care of all of our obsession, I think, is
Because
Yeah.
for real.
hell of a day
Wow.
at sea, sir.
God
Yeah,
damn.
right.
Quite a deal. Well, let's go. Let's see if we can pull this off. The end of hour one always gives us our tease for the beginning of hour two, which is our headline segment. We'll see how many stories we've got prepared to do. Go something like this. Hey, you got boobs in the email.
T-shirts.
Alex Jones.
Someone else quit.
Missing woman found in wall of her house.
I sent a message in a bottle.
The police. Message.
She cloned her fucking dogs.
Good.
All right, that's
Good.
it.
Wow.
Police, the music group, or okay, I wasn't sure.
Message
These-
in a bottle.
Oh my gosh, I could have tied those two together so much better.
Well, all right. All right, beginning of hour two is coming up right after this. Stick around.
We've all got places to go! We've all got places to go!
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Oh, I got here just in time. We are back, boys and girls. It's the beginning of hour 2 on a Tuesday night. Oh, I gotta do this and that. I got so many things. Do this, click this. I don't know. They're talking about this is what we like to affectionately refer to as hour 2. It involves headlines.
It looks like an autopsy.
Hour 3 is coming up in a little bit. We're gonna have entertainment from Al, which will be all about the Oscars. Kat's got 2 things. Maybe.
Sure.
We'll figure that out.
I mean,
You never know. In the meantime, thank you all for participating in the chat room. Also, reminder, we are going to be off for the next 2 weeks, so we're on spring break for the next 2 Tuesdays.
Going to Daytona, bitches.
Yeah, look for us on MTV. All right, headlines. Attorneys across Utah received an unexpected piece of email from the Utah State Bar on Monday. A picture of boobs.
Nope.
Quote, we are... excuse me. Quote, we are horrified. John Baldwin, the organization's executive director, told Fox 13 in Salt Lake City, we are investigating to discover how this occurred. Our goal is to find out what happened and ensure that it never happens again. The Utah State Bar also tweeted out an apology saying, apologies to all who received an inappropriate email from the Utah State Bar. We are aware of the situation and are investigating the matter. The email contained the subject line, 2018 Spring Convention, Walk-ins Welcome, Learn How, along with an image promoting the March 8th through 10th event. Now, here is a picture of what they got. Now, this is a censored version of what they got, but that's what they got, an email.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that people would just flock to the event. I would think that would make them...
I bet it will be well attended, yeah.
You would think so. Chase Thomas, who is the Policy and Advocacy Counsel at the Alliance for a Better Utah, told the Desert News that he was in the gallery at the state capitol when he received the message.
It's the Deseret News.
Is it the Deseret? Oh,
Deseret.
my bad. You're right, it is. I
No.
read that completely wrong. The Deseret
It's the
News.
Mormon newspaper.
He says, I was expecting a routine email I would most likely scroll through and delete, Thomas told the newspaper, but I had to scroll through and delete a lot faster than I had initially anticipated. I'm sure they were all just a little surprised to see the unfurled breastises in their email.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least they were nice.
Yeah, there's that. They were. I'm sure they were. I don't have a picture of the uncensored one, but if I find it, I'll
Even
send
the
it to you.
censoring, they look nice.
Yeah. May not be real, but doesn't matter.
That's all right. Sometimes it's not real. It still looks good.
There you go. I see you sent me a link. I'll go get it.
I did
Awesome.
indeed. I did indeed.
Why do we have to have anything covered up?
Oh, that's a whole other campaign, yeah.
We.
That's
Right.
a whole other
But
campaign.
why
Show
did
the
that have
men.
to
What's it
be-
called? Show the men.
Free the nipples.
Free,
Free
the
the
nipples.
nipples.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not here. I'm just saying. There.
Free your
Right.
mind.
I'm super not going to do any of that.
No
Yeah,
freeing
no.
of the nipple and chair.
I'm not going topless.
There. Okay, but not right here.
Right.
Nope.
I'm waiting for this to load. Why won't this load?
I don't know. Did I send you a bum link?
No, you sent me. It just says it's an image. It won't. For some reason, it doesn't come up. Don't
It's
know why.
boobs.
I don't know. Do you want me to send you something different?
No, whatever.
All right. Well. Oh, crap. I lost my thing.
I hate when you lose your thing. I see the picture.
We skipped over
Oh, no.
about 3 segues, so here's what's happening.
Oh, I see it. No, hang on. I got it.
T-shirt fundraising is a thing. Apparently, people listen to our show. They've been following me. They've been watching me.
They
They
steal
have their
sound
finger
bites.
on
They
the
steal
pulse.
sound bites.
Right.
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 Because a North New Jersey Police Department is selling T-shirts to raise money.
Oh.
Sure they are. Yeah. They're selling T-shirts. They've got the department's name and a logo that some people believe is in bad taste given some of its officers have been accused of excessive force.
Cut to said logo.
Cut to said logo. It is a logo of the Fighting Irishman.
Sure. Sure.
On a medallion, if you will, that says House of Pain at the top, which is actually, it's a parody of the House of Pain album. House of Pain is the band most famously known for the song Jump Around.
Oh, okay.
Jump up, and get down.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah, sure.
But anyway, it says Elizabeth Police, House of Pain, Fine Men of Law, New Jersey's finest, with the Fighting Irishman.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think maybe that's a little on the like the wrong message
Right,
there.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Activists are up in arms. They think that it's appropriate. Of course, the chief of police says he doesn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
The shirt has nothing to do with violence, he says in a phone interview. And interestingly enough, this particular city, the city of Elizabeth, New Jersey, has settled at least 2 excessive force lawsuits over the past few years.
Okay.
And they're in the midst of one right now. The shirts are being sold to raise money for the Police Unity Ride, a bicycle ride to Washington, D.C. in memory of fallen officers. The police chief apparently doesn't know how much the shirts cost and claims that the officers are supposed to be selling them when they're off duty.
Okay.
However, it's being reported that they're selling them straight out of the
back of the cars.
No,
and
out of the police
whatever,
department.
or-
Like,
out of the police
Yeah,
department.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, because
okay.
then they'd be in trouble for like
Sure.
doing solicitation at work, and
well, but apparently they are, and nobody cares.
of course they are.
Yeah.
It's like you don't
Sure.
sell Girl Scout cookies at work, but where else are you gonna get Girl Scout
right.
cookies?
I
Stalk
have
a Girl Scout.
so far this season. I've had
That
none.
goes wrong a lot.
Good work.
It's freaking me out, kind of. In fact, I asked for some Thin Mints and they were never delivered. Much to my disappointment, all that appeared one night were tag-alongs.
You know where you can go
Ugh.
get them?
Yum.
The Girl Scout office right on 3rd Avenue.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you can drive right there.
Yeah, I know.
They'll take your money.
Yeah, I just say Joe sent us when you knock on the warehouse door and they walk you right in.
Secret word is Joe.
So really, my final comments on this story is how did they do so many colors? Like seriously, I'm
I
looking at that.
I mean, I think you want to
Like
keep
the
it.
press, the
that you're
press,
intrigued.
right?
The only thing I would have, my only issue with that logo being used is like, where's the protect and serve? Like, why are you fighting? Like, you're
Right.
supposed
Don't
to be
fuck with
protect-
us. We're
Yeah.
the police. Like,
And maybe I'm an asshole and I'm okay with that, but I just kind of look at it like it's a thing. It's to raise money. It's the Fighting Irish. I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
if,
yeah,
they were,
yeah.
if they were in and or by Notre Dame,
yeah, but they put a
that might be
police.
different.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they put a police uniform like on
On
the
it.
Irishman.
right?
And you
Yeah, I mean,
don't have a culture of violence.
It's a little different than.
okay.
It's a little different than if they had protect and serve and done. Like they just pulled
Sure.
from like a lot of different stuff. I just think it's mixed messaging.
Just-
I don't know what we're after.
Okay.
I think poor decisions were made all around. Like,
Yeah,
Sure.
first of all, who decides
Of
that the
all
House
the
of
poor
Pain
decisions,
of all
yeah, of all
the
the
albums in
yeah.
all the world, you
Yep.
go to House of Pain?
Right.
And are we?
What
I'm gonna
a
agree with
terrible
that.
album that was.
Aren't we perpetuating that Irish cop, that
Right.
1930s movie stereotype? Like
Yeah.
all
Sure.
Irish people are cops. It's
And,
I
and
don't
they're all
know.
drunks and they're
Yeah,
right.
that's just one of those things. But maybe a couple more people on the committee to.
They
shape
should get
up
the
that
people from
message.
Dove.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember
Elizabeth
when-
Police Department, if you're listening, you can go to heycat.co.
And maybe we can up your T-shirt game.
Maybe.
But
I
like,
can help ya.
I know that when we were in Puerto
I
Vallarta,
got a power washer.
somebody,
$36.
one of the women we were with collects firemen
$7.95.
T-shirts.
Mhm.
So she went to the Puerto Vallarta Fire
Oh.
Department to see if they had a T-shirt for sale, and they did. That, you know, Los Bombarderos, like it's a fun word and all that stuff, but she wanted to go see it. She that's her thing when she goes to different cities is to check out a firehouse.
She's checking out the fireman.
There's no shame in that.
I don't think that there is
I don't
either,
care.
but just call a spade a spade. is what
I
I'm saying.
don't like to admit that I grocery shop when the firemen do.
See? There you go.
Buy bananas,
Nothing wrong with that.
cucumbers, eggplants.
Let me tell you, there may or may not have been just a little bit of an incident on Friday at the bar, and I looked up and there was nobody around, and then all of, like, my entire staff comes running in the door at the same time. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Hot cop, hot cop, hot cop. Like, they had all left to go watch him leave.
No, again,
okay,
no
run it back.
shame in that.
Well, no, everyone to feel
Lord.
safe.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was looking for.
Lord.
That's
Everyone-
fantastic.
hot cop, hot cop.
Hot cop.
Tase me, please.
Speaking of tasers,
Oh, can I have a point of order, please?
Oh, please do.
Just because I know you put it in the chat room, but the drinking word is
The Oscars.
Oscars. Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure we got that out
It's
there.
gonna pay off, trust me.
Sure.
I can believe it will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Martin.
Well, good night, sweet children. Good night.
All right.
Want some candy, little girl? Right? We've all, like, there are these the things that we just want the kids to go to sleep. Shut the fuck up, maybe. You know, is what I'm thinking.
STFU.
Something. You know,
there's I think there's a
like,
book called "Go the Fuck
when-
to Sleep."
There is. I bought it for a
Oh
friend
my
of mine
God.
who had a baby, and it was
Yeah.
fucking funny.
Oh.
But
Story's going to go terribly
when
wrong.
it might,
'Kay.
it could. So, you know, maybe when of a certain generation, us on this side of the table,
Fucking baby boomers.
that whatevs, that
We're
perhaps
not that old.
No, we're not.
No, you're not.
We're the children of baby boomers. But maybe they put a little
I'm not.
whiskey
Gen
on,
Xers.
you know, like on our
A little whiskey on the gums,
little
sure.
whiskey
sure.
on the gums, you know, to make it so that our teeth, for the teething.
The teething, right, yeah, it helps.
Yeah, and or just
It's a local
go the fuck to
analgesic.
sleep is
Right.
really
Right.
what it comes down to.
If that's the end result,
Hey,
all the better.
all the better. All the better. So here's the thing, though. God bless them. They meant well, I bet. And gummy bears are delicious. But there were
Soak 'em in
3
vodka?
Illinois daycare workers that were accused of feeding kids laced gummy bears. And they've been charged with endangering children. What were they laced with, you ask, Al Perkins?
I do.
Vodka.
I thought.
Gummy bears and vodka is the way to go.
The candies were allegedly laced. This tells you that they really weren't trying to permanent harm, nothing. Melatonin.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh.
People
Those kids
often
had
use
some
this
fucked up dreams.
some fucked up dreams. They often, people might often use it to help with sleep issues, but they were doing this in an attempt to put the 2 to 3 year old children to bed. They manage maybe if you're in Illinois and you have kids. Drive past Kitty Junction Daycare in Des Plaines.
Now they look like 3 upstanding women for
They
crying
do.
out loud.
They
Look at
do.
them all.
Well,
Oh,
the one on the right is the drug user. The one
Can't tell.
I don't know why.
Melatonin's not a drug.
No,
It's
no,
a,
no.
It's a natural herb.
But see, that's what they thought too. As a matter of fact. So, yeah, they gave them to about a dozen kids. Like here,
It's
the
not
gummy
an
bears.
herb,
the
isn't it a
gummy bears.
hormone?
Allegedly,
No,
it was
it's
done
herb.
just in an effort to calm them down before nap time. But the 3 women that were charged, one of them is a 32-year-old Christian Laletta, 19-year-old Jessica Hesse, and 25-year-old
Hesse.
Ashley Heffelbein. No, she was just mad about her name. All the women who allegedly confessed to feeding the kids the laced bears were charged with 2 counts of endangering the life or health of a child and 2 counts of battery. This cannot be good.
no.
The Chicago Tribune reported that the workers said they thought they didn't do anything wrong because melatonin can be purchased over the counter.
So can Benadryl.
Well, right. And, the interesting, it says you can't
it is a
distribute.
hormone.
But
Told you.
so the issue is, let me just so let me finish this and then I can tell you why it can be considered a bigger issue.
It's very
You
Rachel
can't-
Maddow the way you're telling this story.
You can't distribute that without the parents being told, is basically
Oh,
what
that's
the
fair.
commander is saying. And the teachers didn't know if the child, if children are allergic to it, which, I don't know. People don't usually come in with a huge melatonin allergy, but it could happen. Could happen. If they're 2 and 3, you probably don't know. So it's a good way to find out, is what I'm thinking. Anyway, parents were alerted on Monday about the incident, and they contacted the state's Children and Family Services Department because they have to conduct their own investigation because it's a licensed place. So the reason that it can be such a bad thing, I know with what I do for a living, with social work with folks with developmental issues, if you want to give anything that will be mood altering, you have to have a behavior plan in order to give anything.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Now, if it's because what is its purpose? If I hurt myself or have surgery or this, and they give me Percocet, I can tell you right now, nah, like I'm off on Joe's trip to Mars.
Oh, right.
Like I'm done. So
Wait, I thought
is
Joe
it-
was going to Portland.
Yeah.
No. That Portland's first.
And use the password.
Either
Oh,
one
yeah.
works.
Portland's first, but the issue, that'll fuck me up. But it's for pain. The purpose is for pain. If you're trying to alter someone's state
Yeah.
for your own purpose or alter behavior, and sleep is a
Oh
behavior.
no! I'm completely joking. That it's not a bad
I'm just
thing,
saying,
but-
like, there are people that really would be like, well, who cares? They're just calming them down because it's over the counter.
Right.
But you're right, Benadryl, any of that stuff.
And there's a lot of people that have the opposite
Effect.
reaction to Benadryl,
right.
where it makes them like hyper and crazy with the rapid heartbeat. And I never remember if it's cholinergic or anticholinergic effect, what effect they're having. But there's a fancy word for it when it goes the wrong way.
I call it that's fucked up because you really wanted that kid to sleep. Now they're bouncing off a damn wall.
Right. I don't know that melatonin has that effect on anybody.
I don't
know,
either,
like,
but if they go to sleep, I know as an adult I have taken that, and it does give you some fucked up dreams.
oh, fucked up dreams. And we've talked about my torn sheets, right?
No, I don't think so.
So I've been trying to figure out like how I keep tearing pillowcases and
I don't
tearing
I've not heard this.
fitted sheets, and now like the main sheet of like I'm going through sheets, and I keep having to buy more sheets. Well, I think it's the melatonin and the crazy dreams that I'm having all night that I'm like actively struggling in my sleep. Like I think there's like it's these dreams. Like the Oscar night, I dreamt about Doug parking the car in front of my house all night long, like just repetitive dreams of him parking in front of the house, and all of a sudden I had because remember you said, oh, he needs to pull forward,
Right. To let
Yeah,
other people
to let
park.
park behind him. Oh my god, I had dreams about fire hydrants in front of my house. Like that just stayed with me, and I was like all wrapped up in the sheets. I'm like,
Really?
this must be what's tearing. Like I must be actively like driving
Wow.
a
Kicking
car
the
and
shit
building.
out of
yeah.
somebody. Wow.
Let's put a
And I
camera in
didn't
your
even-
room and see how that
I
works.
really
Right?
do want to. I want to do a sleep study now because now I'm
That'd
like,
be interesting.
what the fuck am
What's
I
going on,
doing?
right?
Wow.
The Summer's saying that I didn't realize that it would be good for ADD, the melatonin, that she would give it to her son. That's interesting.
Well, and after all my years of insomnia, that was one of the things that helps me
Yeah.
fall
I'm
asleep, and the
intrigued.
Benadryl keeps me asleep.
We
But-
used to do that. We used to do that with the littlest because he had his days and nights switched around like long into like toddlerland. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a lot of times infants will do that
Sure.
and they'll sleep all day and want to be up all night. But he was like 4 years old and waking up wide awake, ready to play at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're like,
Yeah, we
I
gotta do
feel
something about
this
that.
this
Yeah.
this can't happen.
Yep.
So the pediatrician actually suggested melatonin.
Really?
Yeah, like a small. It was like a we had
Like
to
gummy
cut,
bear amount?
No, yeah,
A dusted gummy bear?
sure.
Yeah,
a dusted
and I mean,
gummy
I've
bear.
only ever seen like 3, 5s, and 10s, but Harrison told me that she took like a half, like a microgram. Like she took.
It was a small amount for him too. I feel
Oh.
like I remember we had to like cut something in half.
Okay.
And kind of
'Cause
give it to
otherwise
him
it
like a
was
cat.
too
I feel like we had to
much.
like
Yeah.
shove it down his throat for him like he was
Right,
a
right.
cat. It was a hard time. Nobody was sleeping. It was rough. It was rough. But yeah, because he just would just be ready
Wide
to go,
awake, sure.
ready to go until nap time. You know,
Oh,
because he was still
wow.
young enough to nap in the afternoon.
Yep.
So he would be from like 3 a.m. until about 2, and then he'd crash out for about an hour or so, and then
And only an
be
hour.
good, and then be good again
Yeah.
until 8 o'clock. He was
Wow.
just switched.
That is interesting. I might have to try
Yeah.
melatonin.
Summer, don't feel bad for me, because what I would do is I would go lock both of us in his room, and I would sleep, and he would play on the floor. Don't feel bad for us.
Yeah.
we were. He was fine. He didn't die.
And he didn't probably even realize anything was wrong with it. That was just his norm, right?
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't care. He didn't act out. He didn't anything. He would just be awake.
He was awake.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well,
he
when he grows up, he could be a night nurse, and that'll come in really handy.
Absolutely.
right.
Yep.
Well, and you just couldn't rationalize to him that no, this is sleeping time because
Yeah.
he didn't understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Because I'm
Drugging
always
the
like
kids
tired,
in,
tired, and then I get
Illinois.
that second wind at 11 p.m.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I should be at work
Yeah.
and working.
Yep.
That I have to then it's the 11 to 2 a.m. hump that I'm like wide awake. Like no matter what's going on, I'm like, oh, I'm awake again.
5
And then
o'clock
2
is my wake up time. I'll be dragging ass all day, all
Yeah.
afternoon, whatever.
Right.
And then somehow 5 o'clock hits and I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You're right.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm
It's weird when you
Doing
have a different
projects,
schedule.
I'm doing yard work. Everybody
Erin
else is winding
gets
down for
up
the
at
day.
just a stupid fucking time in the morning, and she's like at 5 o'clock she's done, 5:30.
Yeah.
She's done, and she just wants to be able to let's have dinner and just sit and just relax. And I'm thinking, sit.
I have breaking news.
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news!
Your mom's here.
Oh,
Oh
We
my
have
goodness.
guests. Oh my gosh.
hi.
Hello.
How are you? You're on camera right now. Well, Clayton is on camera right now.
There's the mic in my head. Right,
Oh, well,
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hello.
in the kitchen.
Should we go to a dance break and
Yeah,
say
go-
hello?
let's do a dance break and get a chair and stuff.
I don't know how long if she's staying.
I don't know
I just
either.
happened to notice. I got an alert on my phone that there's activity. I'm like, who the fuck is pulling up in front of my house? And I walk out, and there she's walking out my driveway. I'm like, Diane, what are you doing here?
Breaking and
Oh,
entering. Yep.
breaking news. Your mother's here.
Put us on a dance break.
We have homemade bread pudding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that's lovely. I
don't
skipped
know-
dessert today, so.
I have
Shoot.
no idea where I interrupted you all,
I
but
know.
I'll figure something out here
We'll
in a
go
minute.
back to my story when we come back.
Well, all right. Let me get.
Yeah, we were getting ready for you anyway.
I got lots of stuff.
Mama Die. It's
Right.
It's the other Mama Die.
Yeah, no, I mean it's right. Marnie and I have brothers with the same name, so in addition to the long list of other similarities, the year we moved to Phoenix, the amount of letters in our names, all these other things, our mothers are both named Diane. So there's that. Let me figure out how to do this.
Sorry, guys.
All right, we're gonna come right back in a minute. I guess we'll figure it out. Stand with us. Stay there. Hang on. Oh my God.
If you think it sucked so far, just wait till after this 30-second dance break.
While the squirrels are back in the attic. Dad won't call an exterminator. He says it's personal this time. Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
Somebody should take a Zumba class. Oh my gosh, that was an unexpected, completely unexpected visit from Mama Ryer. Marnie's trying to flush her out of the house right now. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I got a notification on my phone that there was activity in the old driveway, and I go out and I see Mama Di walking up the driveway with food.
It's been a while since I've been trying to park their car in your
Your
garage.
garage, yes.
Now
I thought-
kind viewers can see me with utensils instead of just my hands.
What I was concerned about was I just saw a car pull up and stop, and I'm thinking, are they stripping the cars out in front? Because that's all we need is for the Cat Carlson mobile or the Marnie mobile or
The Missy
anything.
L
Well,
mobile,
your
yeah.
car's here
My
tonight
car's
too.
actually here tonight too.
Yeah, so we didn't need all that. We are in the middle of our headline section, and guess whose turn it is? It's Al's.
Well, breaking news, except
Oh
for
my gosh.
Clayton ruined it.
I did?
But Rachel Maddow's got to get a bigger wall because President Donald Trump's top economic advisor, Gary Cohn, is resigning, announced on Tuesday. So Cohn, who had been rumored just weeks ago as a potential next chief of staff, because they're all saying that John Kelly's not going to make it through this. So they were thinking this guy's next, but Cohn, I can't remember what happened, but something happened in the last 12 months where Cohn had threatened to resign. There was some crazy thing that, it was after the
tariffs. That's what they said today.
No, it was a terrorist. But last summer at
there
the
was something else.
Charlottesville,
Oh,
because
yeah,
of the
yeah.
anti-Semitism,
That's
that
right.
Cohn had threatened to resign
They
and
had
then
talked about
stayed.
that.
So this turns out is the line for him. Cohn is expected to leave in the coming weeks. The White House said Gary has been my chief economic advisor and did a superb job in driving our agenda, helping deliver historic tax cuts, reforms, unleashing the American economy once again. He's a rare talent, and I thank him for his dedicated service to the American people, is what Trump said in a statement. So this is one more person, like there's, except for that evil cunt DeVos.
Ugh.
She's still bubbling under there.
Yeah.
As well as like Ben Carson and the guy that doesn't know what his department
Ben
does.
Carson and the
$31,000 table.
fucking desk.
Yeah. And
Or is it a dinette? It's not even it's not even a desk. It's a
Just for the
fucking
lounge,
dining room
for the
set.
lounge area.
that his wife picked out.
Yeah.
And Rick Perry that didn't know what the energy department did.
I would say energy.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Just one of my favorites. So, Cohen's resignation sounded alarm bells in establishment circles in Washington and on Wall Street, where many viewed the former Goldman Sachs executive as a steadying influence on economic policy inside the White House. His departure, combined with Trump's recent moves to recommit himself to his nationalist trade agenda, raised questions about the direction of the Trump administration and sent Dow futures plummeting 300 points. And he did this right at right at the closing bell.
Right.
Because it was being announced as I was leaving to meet you. Wall Street won't be happy, and this is one of those things where like there's been they've been riding this wave of, sure, we're racist assholes, but your stocks are doing well.
Right.
But now the market is recorrecting, and now this, because last year with the after the Charlottesville thing, when this guy threatened to resign, the earth started trembling a little bit. Well, now he's gone, and it's over this trade policy over aluminium, which I love.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of the other things that they said was Cohen said, if something else comes open, I'm all for it. Like he made a comment like, I'll come back if something else opens up. I'm like, no, you're not. No, that's not going to work out that way. You're going to go take your other job or whatever you're fucking doing.
But it makes me laugh that after Trump stood there and said, "Oh no, we have all the best people.
Right.
Everyone wants
Everyone's
to work
be
here."
And
Except for the
boom.
9 million people that have
that
left the
wall
administration.
is huge. I love it. It makes me laugh. Every time they add somebody, they have to get a smaller font or a bigger wall. At some point, it's just going to be, just have to scroll it up like the opening of Star Wars. Like that's how it's going to have to be. All the names, and it goes on forever. Yeah. It used to be she read all of them, and now she's like, well, half the show would be reading them. We can't do that.
So there's
and it's in the first year. That's 1 year.
Yeah.
I know it.
But DeVos. Contessa.
Can we get rid of her? We got to get rid of her.
I don't understand how she's not gone.
She doesn't know where the,
she's keeping it under the radar and
she doesn't know where the pencils are to fill out a resignation form.
Right.
She thought it was a gun, and then
She
there
doesn't
was-
know.
there
We
was
can't
a
afford
bear.
pencils, but here's a gun.
Because there's more money in it for her to stay. That's
Right,
what
yeah,
it is.
because she's making. Because if you're part of this administration, you're there to make money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're
Oh, yeah.
only there to find to be a cash. As Jared has taught us, we're just here to make money off people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my stray,
Well, I enjoyed
and
that
I'm
story.
sticking to it.
Like I said, I'm very curious to see what all has unfolded. Because I mean, I'm getting news alerts about the fact that Stormy Daniels is now suing Trump against this whole thing with that because apparently he never
didn't
signed.
sign.
He never signed the non-disclosure agreement, so it makes it void. 'Cause
Hooray!
there's everybody's suing everybody. Let's all sue someone.
And I don't know what bread pudding is, but I am all for it.
Marnie, can you explain? Because somebody asked in the chat room, what did Mom bring? And you tell us, please.
So bread pudding is bread and pudding.
Like what the energy department does.
No.
Energy.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the
And
thing.
raisins.
But I don't understand the thing. You eat it with half and half, or
Yeah, you put half and half on it.
Okay.
Oh, it's a whole different animal with that half
It
and half
really
on there.
is.
It's like-
everything. It's just
no,
fucking
but
It's
it's,
like
not
all the
But
feelings.
it's not traditional bread. What is it?
no.
It's like a pie
and
crust.
Is this what human emotion feels
So
like?
here's
Oh,
what I'm gonna do.
good. I think it's good. What?
She's made this forever. She makes like chocolate bread pudding. She'll make like all different kinds of the
I
things.
say, I detect some cinnamon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
cinnamon.
asked her in the driveway because it was odd to look up and see your mom carrying this thing with hot
Right, right,
pads
right.
coming towards me. I'm like, I said, Diane, are you okay? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I'm bringing you bread pudding and half. And I'm like, okay. Does Marnie know you're here or you're coming? No. And I literally thought she was just lost somewhere. I
Sure,
wasn't sure
sure.
what was going on for a
Oh,
minute.
I was like, 'cause I'm like, oh god, did she hear about the Shady Pines comment and she had to come feed us?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's real funny.
Or the cluster of oaks? What was it
Shake-
called?
It's secluded oaks.
Secluded oaks.
Yeah.
Now, and
Cluster of oats sounds like a cereal.
Now, what's coming at some point in this, at some point when Mom and I buy a single house and live in a large house, when we're doing that our show out of that house,
Yeah.
well, Mom will be dropping by stuff all the time. She'll cook, she'll make
love that.
food,
Yeah,
she'll be
yeah.
excited. She'll be like craft services for us.
Which is fantastic.
And she'll love it because
Yeah,
every
oh,
week
yeah.
she'll have to plan a menu for
Yeah.
the show.
That'd
Oh,
be
God,
very
that sounds
exciting.
better and better.
Yeah, I just
It's
gonna
fucking brilliant.
say.
My
So
gosh.
I just
How do
looked
we
it up
help this
'cause
happen?
I just know how it's made.
I'm
Whatever.
going to do a
but
GoFundMe.
It's a bread-based dessert, and it's
I feel like it's
the
British.
name. In the Philippines,
European.
it's like banana bread pudding would be popular. In Mexico, there's a similar dish that's eaten during Lent called capirotada.
Oh,
Sure.
Something.
Sure, I will go with
It's
that.
made with, well, just
Bread.
kind of go with this, but it's like when bread gets toward the end, like you should be ready to throw it away. It's gotten a little drier.
Croutons.
It used stale. I don't like that. But
Oh, so it's like stuffing. You
in a lot of ways. Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yes, that's yes.
Generally contains eggs, oil, butter, and it can be sweet or savory.
And if you went savory, you'd be at stuffing. That's why
Sure,
I like it so
sure.
much. It's
Mhm.
just stuffing.
That's all of my
it's
favorite
just
things.
stuffing with
Stuffing's
heavy cream
cousin,
on it.
right.
Yeah.
Now, mace is interesting to me. It's a cinnamon, nutmeg, mace, or vanilla. I've never heard mace as a spice. I've never
sure.
heard of that.
I believe it's
soaked in the
MASE.
liquids, mixed with other ingredients, and then just baked. Savory puddings would be main course, whereas this is more of a dessert. So, yeah. This is more like the Belgium Brussels kind of thing, apparently.
Is this
Like,
something that
kind
Mom
of
has
baked
made
with
often over the years?
Ever. Yeah, forever.
Okay.
Brown sugar, cinnamon, old bread, raisins, or apple. Apple's in there quite a bit.
Yeah.
I enjoy either one.
Yeah,
this-
and like
that
I
was
said,
delicious,
the
a
chocolate
nice
bread
little treat.
pudding is real good.
I will have some in just a
Yeah.
little while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incidentally, mace is related to nutmeg.
Oh, interesting. I've
Is
just
it-
never.
is it
MACE.
MASE?
MACE.
See,
Oh, it is. Oh, it's the
Yeah,
same.
that's
spray.
why I was like,
Oh, now if you get
Well,
the
no-
spice in your eye, is that the? Oh my God, really?
Yeah, because pepper spray, mace spray, they're made
Oh.
from spices. That makes sense. You get that hot spice. They could do it with cinnamon. If you
I
got
was saying,
cinnamon
get some
sprayed
damn
to yours.
cinnamon up your nose and tell me how you feel. It's not cute.
Yeah.
oh,
I have
you
so
can
many things to
die
try in the
from,
kitchen.
Is it inhaling cinnamon?
So that's a different thing. The geniuses and idiots on Snapchat and YouTube with all of their ridiculous challenges,
Right.
where you dare your friends to do dumb stuff and then videotape it and upload it for the internet to see. The cinnamon
That's what I
challenge,
did when we started this show.
right?
Yeah.
Look at us go. The cinnamon challenge was killing kids because the problem
Wow.
is It's a spice, and they would do a big spoonful of it, and then they were inhaling it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so then it
Because you
irritates
start
the airway.
you start to choke on it, and you end up aspirating the cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole
Wow.
thing.
There are some of those challenges at work that some of the doctors were trying to do, and they got to the cinnamon one, and somebody was like, "No, here," and they're all part-time pulmonologists, so they were all like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to do that one."
No, that's not going to happen.
Because they did the saltine challenge. They do some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Cheerio challenge is my favorite. That's where you take Cheerios and see how high you can stack them on your sleeping child.
I have seen videos of
That
that.
one's funny.
Now that just sounds like
See,
fun.
that's just a good time.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you have it.
Wow. All right, continuing on. This isn't really a feel-good story, but I thought you all might find it interesting. A Houston woman whose skeletal remains were found on the wall of her house last year is believed to have fallen through her attic floor before becoming wedged within the wall, authorities said on Tuesday.
It's another reason to not go in your attic.
The Harris County Coroner's Office identified the remains as Mary Cerruti, 61 years old, who was discovered by the new owners of the Houston home. Cerruti was reported missing back in 2015 after neighbors contacted police saying they had not seen her for several days. In the attic, there was a broken board that led to the space in the wall. Law enforcement thinks that she may have been up there in the attic and then literally fell through the floor. Tricia Bentley said she's the medical examiner from the Houston area. Authorities collected the bones last year. Most of her skeleton was in place, the medical examiner said. Clothes and a pair of red eyeglasses were also discovered. In addition, I don't know how...
Is it Sally Jesse?
No. In addition, there were 6 dead cats also found in the attic, which probably they just couldn't get out of the house and they ate all the food that was left and done.
I'm thinking when they describe her as being only partially there, some of it's inside the cat.
Could have been, right. One neighbor was still in shock as to how Cerruti could have fallen through the floor, but a bank foreclosed on her home back in 2015 after the mortgage payments stopped being paid. Liens on the property were settled, the house was cleaned out, and was eventually placed on the market and then sold. Obviously, the new owners decided to do some remodeling and found her. Weird.
And the smell didn't get you.
That's what I'm thinking. Now they're saying this is 2018, obviously. Now this happened in 2015. A dead body is quite the smell. I cannot imagine that somebody didn't notice that. And even if you were to, let's say, have gone in 6 months or even a year ago, I would still think that there would be enough.
I would think you would open the door to that smell. Unless whoever showed the house was like, "Oh, we got to get rid of that smell," and started airing it out.
And maybe they just thought it was the cats.
Yeah.
What part of the country is this in?
Houston, Texas.
That should stink.
It should. Well, yeah, because I was thinking
the humidity too.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Because I was thinking in a drier climate, for instance, Phoenix.
Right.
If in fact you were perhaps an idiot and poisoned some rats that you had, and they died in the wall.
Yeah, which is just dumb as
snot. Don't poison your rats.
You're a
Fucking
fucking
trap
idiot.
them,
That's
Right.
correct.
dumbasses, because
Yeah.
they're just gonna die in your walls. But it
And
takes about 2 weeks for that to
Become the olfactory delight it was
mummify.
meant to
No,
be.
no, no. Well, it stinks, but then in about 2 weeks it dries up and desiccates.
Desiccates. I love
Is
that.
the
Ooh,
word I
wow,
want.
that was a
Yeah.
big word.
So that probably happened to her too, like
But,
in the space that it takes, because you do get to the other side of that. Like that decomp smell is distinctive and it never leaves you, but you do get to the other side of that, and it dries up and goes away.
Right. I'm sure it would eventually, but
But I'm just saying it's trapped in a closed house. Like somebody had to open up and air that out a little bit.
Right.
Because
Oh, sure.
I'm also surprised at the timeline. To me, they're saying skeletal remains. I just would think that because there were pictures, I chose not to use them, of the skeleton completely clear of anything but bone. I'm just thinking that's a short amount of time for that to have
Oh no,
processed that.
Yeah, cats. Where cats played a big role in that.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
Well, how'd they get in the wall and then back out of the wall?
It's
they're
a cat.
very sneaky.
They get everywhere.
Wow, well, talented kitty
Yeah,
cats.
and other critters got to her too. It's Houston. I mean, it's alive with bugs.
All right.
But when reading, Stephen King taught us when he was writing The Stand that one of the reasons where they relocate in Boulder is because they know all the dead bodies, so they want the cold. They want to go somewhere cold so they can clean out the bodies while it's cold, so the city doesn't smell. So they need a dry, cold
sure.
place. And I just remember reading that as a child and being like, "That's ghoulish but genius."
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't know if it's true, but I
Meow
learned so
cow.
much.
Because cats.
Because cats, right?
It's the answer to a lot of things.
Well, no, Jenny, you're right. Flies, like all kinds of things. But I just thought in a 2-year, I mean, if you exhume bodies these days, I mean, still,
Well, they've
there's
been
tissue.
embalmed.
It's different.
Oh,
right.
Val, my bad. You're exactly correct.
Yeah,
Chemical
they've been
embalming.
embalmed and they've been sealed in an airtight container.
Yeah.
Environment does a whole lot for decomposition.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I've seen on the
Which is
a
why your
movement-
dead rat stops smelling after 2 weeks.
Yeah, because he or she has not been embalmed.
Oh.
Well, there's a big movement in the burying departments that people don't want all those processes done with them. They want to be put in the hole without a box and go back to dust.
Right.
Like there's a big movement against that to not take up the space because we're running out of out of room
That's
for
been my
bodies.
argument forever. I keep thinking, but eventually, just
Yeah, there's not enough room for it. So some people are going the cremation rate. Some people are afraid of fire. So the new movement. I know you're dead, but there's still that thing of being burned that it seems it does. Some religions actually believe in burning the body.
Burned alive gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about
Well,
it.
burned alive is one thing.
So
but
what if I'm not dead? I see
burned
that
dead-
episode all the time.
Right.
You're gonna know.
Oh,
But
you're gonna
there's-
die quick enough. You'll be fine.
Plus, that goes into the atmosphere too. Like there is something to the cremation and what happens to those fumes and stuff like that. So now there's this new movement going around about being buried naturally, but you have to worry about like decomposition, runoff, getting into the groundwater. Like there are reasons.
I
why
like
we
the idea
treat
of being
bodies.
cremated and being made into a pod where you become a tree.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool. Because we need more trees. I mean, they're cutting down trees like fucking crazy.
And now Amita, dude. Now I know there's.
They don't bury the
I know
coffins.
Jewish people don't they have to be buried within like 24 hours?
Yeah, there's some
There's
rules.
a time. I mean, and like everyone's
And
a little
it's
bit
in
different.
a wooden box, and it's like not super sealed. I don't believe. Like it's not a.
Yeah, like I mean, every religion has its
Yep. Yep.
My father made me promise to make sure he was dead before.
And you
cremation.
did. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sorry
we're-
about your loss.
I'm getting to be that age where I have to start making a plan, and I don't really like cremation. Like, there's something about that I'm like.
Oh, I'm fine with it. We're done.
Oh.
I just don't want to take up space. So there's no point.
Oh, right. But so I'm like, contaminate the water system. Put me in somewhere.
There you go.
Take the body out in the ocean. Bury me in one of those, like, wrap me up in a flag and throw me out in the ocean like sailors. That's fine.
Ooh.
Fish food.
A sea burial.
Yeah, I like a burial. It's
Oh my God,
No,
that's
because
kinda-
then that would be my luck. That's when Aaron would want to go to the ocean, and then I'd be cleaning up stuff along the beach, and I'd be like, "Oh, that look, Al!" And
Yeah,
and
and
then
then I'd show up finally.
You
on,
don't know.
I'd finally be on Shark Week.
Right.
They could chum the waters with me.
Yeah, the shark that goes to attack Aaron would be like,
Oh my God, I
And
didn't
then
know.
it-
How
oh,
could you make that
there
full
goes
circle?
Al.
How did you do that?
"That's well
Wow.
played."
It's a
I
gift.
like a.
Don't doubt
I'm
my
fine with
ability.
it. Yeah.
Speaking of gifts, Kat Carlson.
Speaking of gifts, the world's oldest message in a bottle has been found. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been looking for it, it's been found.
Somebody else got it.
I know. A couple from Australia saw a bottle on the beach, said, "Oh, that might look good on a bookshelf." Turns out there's a 132-year-old note in there. That's right. She found a 132-year-old gin bottle in the dunes near Wedge Island. Her husband told the local newspaper that she intentionally thought it was rubbish, but picked it up because it had a distinct raised lettering and might look good on the bookshelf. Like you do.
Yeah, of course.
Here's
I'd
some
have picked
crap.
it
Let
up
me put it on
because-
my shelf.
Just because I'm cleaning up the beach.
Sure.
For
Sure.
real, that would annoy me.
I carry enough shit to the beach. I'm not
Yeah.
carrying up extra.
That's okay.
I'm taking my stuff in. I'm
fair,
taking
fair.
my stuff
I get
out.
it,
I'm
I
not
get it.
picking up any extra.
fine.
No kids. We
As
don't
long as
need
you
all
take
those
your shit
fucking
out,
rocks.
That's fine. That's fine.
God damn it with the rocks. Anyway,
I love good rocks.
the bottle had been thrown overboard from a German sailing ship in 1886 as it crossed the Indian Ocean. The German ships were conducting a 69-year experiment that involved throwing thousands of bottles into the sea to track the ocean currents. Each message was marked with the ship's coordinates, the date, and the name of the ship, which was, recently used to verify that the message was real.
By the way,
HMS
by the way,
Pinafore.
here's the bottle. It is a cool looking bottle.
Oh, it is. That would look good on any bookshelf.
Not mine.
And they just happen to have gin.
Well, why wouldn't they?
What's wrong with gin?
Like,
Scurvy. Gotta get.
Yeah,
keep-
we got to get rid of it.
Gotta get your
Right.
berries.
I was just saying, it's a working ship. Is what,
Of the thousands
I'm just saying.
plunked overboard, 662 other messages from the same German experiment have been found and returned before this last discovery. The most recent found was all the way back in 1934.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I know. So, if perhaps you found a German gin bottle
Yeah, of
and
course.
thought nothing of it, please do a little Google search and contact some people because they're still looking for
Sure.
thousands of bottles. I don't know what they're going to get out of it now, but it's a thing.
That's
Wow. It
happened.
interesting.
Well, and are you going to read more to that story or no?
No.
Okay. In the story,
No.
they said that more than likely the bottle beached itself soon after it was actually put in the water, and it's been protected under layers of wet sand for like the past 100 and some odd years. It's like been there just under the surface where nobody noticed
like
it.
then erosion.
And then erosion made it, exposed it. They said that. Then they also I read in that same story because I almost did that story today.
It seemed like one right up your alley. I was surprised nobody had it.
They went back and
a long
actually
time since someone went up
matched.
his alley.
They matched the writing. God, we got Driveway and Alley in 2 shows and 1 show. They went back and matched the writing of the note into the logs from the ship and matched it up to verify
That
that
is
of
really
its
That's really interesting.
authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find drunk people on a beach. I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. The oceans must be receding because similarly, I found a story that they found like a Revolutionary War shipwreck in, I think it was like Maine, like in the Northeast somewhere. Just got uncovered. It's been under the sand, and they did all the tests, and they say, yeah, this is.
Wow.
Well, and some of it's the beach
Revolutionary
erosion. I mean,
War.
there's been some fantastic storms, and
Yeah, beach erosion.
beach erosion is huge, and it turns out that you got to rebuild that shit. You got to bring the sand back.
Well, they also recently found a World War II aircraft carrier. I forget.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they recently found that because they
very
showed a
cool.
picture, not of it underwater, but they showed it as it was originally with all of the planes on the deck. And then they said that they just found. I guess it was sunk by the Japanese back in World War II.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Crazy
finding
things.
all kinds
Crazy
of shit.
things. As the oceans dry up, we find all the shit we lost.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if
Just
you,
like when the snow
Shit,
melts, you
yeah.
find the thing that you left in the
Yeah.
backyard.
you
in
know,
the
like when
fall.
you see lake beds and ponds that dry up and all the shit that's in the bottom of them? It would be interesting if you could just lift all the water for a minute and see all the shit that's on the bottom. Cars, boats,
Well, that
things.
happened with remember when the dam burst of the Tempe Town Pond? Remember when that dam
Yeah.
burst and all of a sudden, like
Yeah.
the shit that was down
Washing
there,
machines, televisions.
Yeah, it was terrible. When they were like, "Oh, this is kind of
Yeah, they had to clean out a bunch of this stuff.
yeah."
Well, Lake Mead there's a town under it. Isn't it Lake Mead?
I never remember if
Is it the city of Mead?
No,
No. But they put in a dam and created the lake and,
Oh, and
and
flooded a
evacuated and
city.
flooded an entire town. I
Oh.
wouldn't call it a city.
I can't
Village.
remember if it was if it's that or Colorado, but it's in the west. It's either
Okay,
Yeah, I feel like it's on the way to Vegas. Hang on.
she'll figure it out.
Yeah. What is Jane Walker the whiskey? Marina?
Well, in your kitchen,
Yes,
Have you-
it's Lake Mead. Carry
Okay.
on.
have you ever found? We'd know
Rats?
about it. Stop it. It's mean. I'm terrified.
It's funny now.
Just stop it. You asked me the other night what I fear. Finger on the pulse.
Yeah. Rats. There's rats in the walls.
I usually do have
I don't.
finger on that particular pulse.
So, if you're going about your business
Mm-hmm.
in the kitchen, and all of a sudden you find a secret basement, I'm gonna kill you. You find a secret basement?
No.
Come on, you would be something else with something like that, right? With
Oh,
all your
I'd
horror stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd move that day.
Oh, done, right?
Secret basement. I gotta go.
Are you kidding? I would hide it from my family for as long as humanly
Oh, that's,
possible.
I agree with
and
you.
new
fuck with
office.
them. That's my new print shop, baby.
Right,
So-
Mama's new office.
In 1 minute, you're going about your business in the kitchen, maybe doing a spot of cleaning or something. And then the next minute, clunk! The vacuum catches something in the floor, a loose tile. Flash
Gasp.
forward 5 minutes. Thank you for the gas.
Whole 5
And you're
minutes.
standing there looking into what is quite clearly the back entrance to the underworld.
Oh.
Wait,
Can you
it's the
help me?
Hellmouth?
No.
Are you describing
Help
Clayton
me with
again?
that?
Wait, are we on Buffy the Vampire
I don't think
Slayer all of a
that's
sudden?
funny.
The back
Can I get
entrance
a
to the
little-
underworld.
I was just waiting. Thank you.
The Hellmouth was under the high
No.
school, not the
Let's be
kitchen.
honest. When the phrase secret, when has the phrase secret basement really ever meant something good? I don't.
As soon as
usually
I
use
find
a
one
lot,
and it
but
becomes my lair.
soon,
Your lair.
because the woman tweeted out. I should have sent you the picture. I did not. Has lived in this house for over a year, and they just found this secret basement, and it's she had it on Twitter, and it's like this.
Oh God.
There's a
Now-
trap door.
Now,
Yeah.
what part of the country does she live in?
She is in. She's overseas. It is.
Damn it, we can't have anything nice like that in America.
I know.
I'm gonna go with
I mean-
Scotland.
Well, well, I mean, like secret basements are a part of the Underground Railroad. That there was.
Sure.
True.
Sure.
Ooh,
No,
is it
this
German?
was- hold on.
Poland?
Ooh, I know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Holocaust.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get there in a minute. Because it was overseas, but I don't remember.
Here's a shot that you were looking at right here. There's the trap door.
Yep.
And a vacuum.
And
for
the
Clayton.
vacuum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's all about that.
My gosh, it's a canister
So
vacuum
what
with a
would,
wand.
I mean, what would you do? I mean, would you seal it up? Cover it back up as best you
I
can?
would try to find like
Get
a
that
National
house
Guard
on the
or
market as soon as possible.
Yeah, get the
No.
National Guard to like go down there and look for bodies.
I'm immediately thinking more storage.
Nah,
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
But would you want to crawl down into that?
I got a lot of lighting.
I'll bet there's a stair.
I got a lot of lighting.
I'll bet there's a ladder.
I don't know. Like I would be super invested about it, but I would need to have more information.
Yeah, I'm with Clayton. A nice big light.
Oh my God! You can
Maybe a broom for the cobwebs. I'm cleaning
I'd
that
be
bitch out.
calling you too, but no.
I'm thinking that maybe it's an underground garage. It's got a tunnel that goes to something else.
You wait till those kids come home and I'm banging on the bottom of the floor.
That would freak them out.
The room apparently turned out to be 10 feet by 4 feet, and it held nothing but a wine rack.
Oh!
So you might be all right. You might be all right.
Was the wine rack? Describe the wine rack. Was it full? Was it empty?
But this woman's son, who initially put the
Domestic
tweet out,
import?
said it's a murder house. Like he's just like, I want to get out. But yeah, apparently it just had a wine rack.
Were there dates? Oh wait, the wine rack. Were there bottles?
No, it
Doesn't
does
say.
not say.
Because I'm thinking, if there would be a date on the bottle, that'd be cool. We may have found the oldest
Sure.
bottle of wine.
All right,
Sure.
if my secret
There you
basement
go.
is that small, it's the new secret threatened timeout room. Yeah.
Oh, there's no repercussions there.
Yeah,
It
that's
does
not
the
gonna-
homework or else it
that's
gets the
not gonna
hose again.
fuck up
Like,
the kids.
Yeah, just
no.
say, word for word, say that to the kids there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not gonna fuck them up.
yeah.
So
I'm
we'd
gonna
like to
silence
talk
the
to you
alarms.
about your timeout program at home. Can you
We
describe?
heard about it.
Right.
We heard it's dark.
So now with the Lady Doritos and the Lady Big Pens, there is Lady Johnny Walker called Jane Walker,
Oh,
and
God.
Ananta's put a link in the chat room, and the
Sip on some Jane Walker and disappear
Here
into
the-
the secret
the
basement.
logo is really quite lovely. Like I'm on board with the
The logo's
lady-
beautiful. It's actually just their black label rebranded
Yeah.
in recognition of women leading the way.
Okay.
So it appears from the article that I found, I don't know what theirs is, but I just Googled. It appears to be more of a tip of the hat
Okay.
than
Wag of the finger.
Than a
tip of
wag
the
of-
hand.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah. It seems to be more of a
Cecilia Jimenez.
tribute than
point.
patronizing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
no,
like the Lady Doritos. Fuck
right.
those Doritos.
Fuck them, but I'll have the scotch.
But I'll have some Jane Walker, sure.
I always think Cecilia Jimenez is tip of the hat, wag of the
They
finger, but she's
found Jimmy
alpha dog of the
Hoffa.
week.
They found Jimmy Hoffa, Jenny says.
Can't stress enough, if you've got a computer at home, find Cecilia Jimenez, alpha dog of the week, and just imagine me almost peeing my pants every time I watch it. Can't get through it. Okay, so now my next story, speaking of things that got found that got dug up in a basement. So Barbara Streisand's come under a lot of flack, and I have to say that even I'm anti-Barbara on this one.
Why are we mad at Barbara?
In a frank and lengthy interview in Variety this week, Barbara Streisand dropped one very notable aside, although I thought it was Vanity Fair, that 2 of her dogs were clones of a previous dog, Samantha, who had recently died. Here, Miss Streisand explains how this medical marvel, born of sadness, came to pass. She was so devastated by the loss of her dear Samantha after 14 years together that I wanted to keep her with me in some way. It was easier to let Sammy go if I knew I could keep some part of her alive, something that came from her DNA. A friend had cloned his beloved dog, and I was very impressed with that dog. So Sammy's doctor took some cells from the inside her cheek and the skin on her tummy just before she died, and we sent them to Via Gen Pets in Texas. Has she not seen Jurassic Park?
For real.
We weren't even sure if the cells would take. Meanwhile, she missed her so much she went and adopted a rescue dog. That's where she gets a couple points back. A little Maltipoo, and I named her Sadie after the first dog I ever owned, given to me by the cast of Funny Girl on my 22nd birthday. Then I got a call from Sammy's breeder who said, I know how upset you are. If you're interested, I have this little puppy, and her mother's main name is Funny Girl. So she has that dog too.
Hi, Nero.
But there's all this thing about, so I guess she comes out a little bit better that she does at least have 2 rescue dogs. But it just It's where people and pets drive me fucking crazy. You have to be able to cope with death. You
Do you
can't.
want to come over for my dog's birthday party?
No.
Only if it's a quinceañera.
I mean, exactly. What's the theme? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
If it's Cinco de Mayo, I might show up because I'm all about the tequila lately. So, I mean, we're glad you're sad.
That's
We're glad you have a
ridiculous.
lot of money.
Yeah.
But you're just living out Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. Like,
Sure.
and there's a grave in her backyard, and she's got the room, and I guess everybody buries their pets, but she's got like a headstone.
Here's a picture of the
I
clone
cremate
dogs
mine.
visiting the headstone of the other
Oh,
dog.
come on,
Yeah.
that's cute. I don't care. Those
It is.
dogs are cute.
She pushed them in a fucking stroller.
Yeah, but that's
That's
cute.
not cute.
And then here she is with all the dogs
So she's got the 2 clones,
and the rescue.
some plastic surgery that's not gone quite her way.
Quite well, no, but a nice view.
She's been fresh. Well, she lives in her estate is in Malibu. So we're not. But it's just such a weird story, and she's getting so much flack for this. And why make 2 new dogs? Like, go. And the article didn't mention the rescue puppies. It just kind of like casually aside
Glossed
that she's
over
got
that, right.
cloned dogs. There's just something creepy about.
creepy about
yeah, are you gonna clone your kid? Like.
Nero's gonna
I most
clone
certainly
herself.
won't.
You know,
Just in case. But that's what I'm wondering. Like, so how is she gonna handle it? Like, what if her
I
son
love it.
dies? Is she gonna clone him? Like,
She
what's-
might.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're just at pet.
We're gonna have
we
way
are
too many
so in
Elliot
pet
Goulds.
First of all,
cemetery.
it's still illegal to clone people, so she'd have to do it on the black market. We saw Jurassic Park. We know how that
yeah.
works.
But don't go to somewhere that has Gen in it. I mean, have we learned nothing?
Oh, Gentech.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Gentech?
No,
I
it was
remember.
something Gen. I can't remember.
There's nothing wrong with something with Jen in it. She's in the chat room.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
Very
But not
different Jen.
that's
She's a
J-E-N,
delight.
not G-E.
Right.
Thank you. I just wanted you to clarify.
Yes.
You know.
Because I can think of a lot of other people I'd like to clone other than
Also,
Elliot Gould's son.
Sam, the son of the mom who has the basement,
yes.
Uh-huh.
hidden basement.
InGen.
Gayest
InGen.
Christmas, it appears, and in Manchester, England.
Ah.
Just as an update.
Oh, I didn't know that was
Yeah.
breaking news.
Update.
The clone
The
apocalypse.
clone apocalypse.
It really does, because people are so stupid about their pets that it leads to that. Like, now things die. Everything dies.
Yep.
Yes.
Turn. What is that song?
I cremate mine.
There's a season.
Ashes to ashes.
Oh, yeah, from
Dust to
Footloose.
dust.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's
the one.
fantastic.
Speaking of dying, hour 2 is, so we're gonna tease it. We're gonna tease hour 3 with this.
There was the Independent Film Awards, the Spirit Awards, there was the Razzies, there was the Oscars. We have a wonderful renewal to talk about. And I do have a picture to send you, I think. Or you can all just Google it for yourselves. Go however you want to. And just Oscar, keep drinking. Oscar, chug, Oscar, chug. It was a drinking word, chug.
And we drank a lot on Sunday.
Oscar, yeah.
All right, we're coming back with hour 3, starting off with entertainment with Al, so stay here. We'll be right back.
It's enough for today. Spicy's gonna go bye-bye right now. I need a big boy nap.
You're listening to Hugh Talk America. is the Hugh Talk America Radio Network.
And hour 3 begins as it does each and every week. By the way, this is the final hour of the show for the next couple of weeks. We're going to take a little spring break, and we're going to be off for the next 2 Tuesdays.
Daytona, here I come.
But fear not. Yes, catch us on MTV
Wet
for the.
t-shirt contest.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, does MTV still do that horrible
I'm sure
house
they
where they
do.
just like get all kinds of teenagers to make bad decisions on
Oh, I'm sure
camera?
they do. I don't know.
I'm
I
so
don't
upset.
remember.
I don't even know where MTV is on my TV.
I believe it's 29.
I don't know that it's a thing.
I believe
I
it's
think
a-
it's called The Bachelor.
I believe it's called 1029 is the number for that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Isn't that fun? Like,
we've already been through the first
it's
2
never even
hours of the
occurred to
show.
me to go to
We
that
had an
station.
unexpected visitor. Marnie's mom popped in, showed up, gave us some bread pudding and some half and half to enjoy it with. You can go back to hour 2 and re-listen to that whole thing.
Go watch us eat that. in
We
like
got 2 things
a
with Kat
minute.
coming up in just a little bit, but right now it's Al Perkins and nothing but Oscars.
There's a couple other things, but at the Oscars, surprisingly enough, keep drinking. There were many winners at the Academy Awards, but one of the biggest may be Adam Rippon, who got to meet his celebrity crush at an after party. If you can find the picture of his Adam Rippon's tuxedo, the U.S. Olympic figure skater who wore an S&M inspired fashion to the show scored a picture with Shawn Mendes, writing on Twitter, "I planted the seed and I saw the harvest. He is cute, he is sweet, and the other guy is Shawn Mendes." So he said he replaced Harry Styles as his #1 celebrity crush.
Spell this right. Oh, I found it.
And just how cute they were. But I was all excited because I forgot who Shawn Mendes was. I only know him from his appearance on like any music. If it's not on SNL, I don't know who they are. And he was on there, and I think I bought his song. He's a cute, big, tall boy with a great voice. Couple good songs. But I was hoping when I read the story that it was Sally Field's son, Sam.
Oh,
that,
sure.
Because they were campaigning for that.
Yeah, because they were campaigning for that. So I just had to like read through it and look up who everybody was in the story. Yeah, so Doug thought it was too much. I thought it was,
I think that's great.
Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Let's just tie it back to what I was doing, and he has a picture of that up. The Sam from Manchester, England.
Yeah.
There's a picture of that up. That's funny. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that was Adam Rippon.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And there's the fact that he got to go to the Oscars, so good for him.
That's great.
So we'll go through a couple of the Razzie Awards and see if you've seen any of the movies. So worst actor was Tom Cruise for The Mummy. Worst picture was the Emoji Movie, because why wouldn't it be? Worst actress, Tyler Perry, Boo to a Medea Halloween.
Oh, no.
Just funny. And they always have some kind of fun with them. Like, they'll have, like, worst entire cast and stuff like that. Worst supporting actress for Kim Basinger for 50 Shades Darker. And... oh, here we go. Mel Gibson for Daddy's Home 2, which just looked awful in the previews. There's times where I'm like...
wait, Mel Gibson was in that?
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of their dads.
He played, was
what?
it the Wahlberg?
Yeah.
He plays his dad. Because Will Ferrell's dad is John Cleese. No, not John Cleese.
Not John Cleese.
Oh, God. From Third Rock from the Sun.
John Lithgow.
John
Oh,
Lithgow.
Lithgow.
And so he comes down the elevator, and then they're waiting for the other one, and he's just... It's Mel Gibson.
And one of my favorite worst screen combo, any two obnoxious emojis in the Emoji Movies. First off, if you went to see something called the Emoji Movie, isn't the joke on you? Like, I could see you stumble across it on cable. It comes across, you know what I mean? It's on the
You're
airplane.
hungover on a Monday.
Yeah, you just press the button on the airplane
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, I guess I'm in. But leaving your house, getting the
To
babysitter,
get- right,
buying
to
the
go
popcorn,
somewhere.
and sitting down at the Emoji Movie,
Right, no.
no. Not a thing.
Exactly.
We already talked about that. Oh, turns out I was just... oh, so, and then in All Gay All the Time news, Schitt's Creek got renewed for season 5. We're very excited about that. And then I just have to tell you, if you have not, get caught up on this season. How are you finding Schitt's Creek? What device?
Pop.com.
Oh.
And then I've had to use a valid cable subscription to log in.
Okay, so find a cable subscriber and
'Cause
steal
I-
their ID.
Right, because I think Pop made.
By the way, Q Talk America does
Kobe
not
Bryant
advocate
announced.
the stealing of anybody's ID,
I didn't steal anything. No, don't accuse. I didn't steal
even if it was
anything.
given to you. I mean, I gave it mine to Barbara, but
I used a valid cable subscription to log in. The end.
The end.
The
The
end.
end.
exactly.
The end. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that because Pop showed up on your cable, Pop, like, prior seasons, they were not a
Part of the Cox package.
like part of that package.
Yeah.
They weren't available in the U.S. because I looked.
Now it comes up on FX for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's how I get it. It just comes up on the FX channel.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm not trying to outdo you.
Oh, wait. No, Schitt's Creek is playing on the FX channel as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. That must
Because
be...
the DVR records the current season, but I had to get to the original 3 to get through it on Apple TV on Netflix.
On Netflix.
But Pop is they play that on FX.
Oh,
so
that's good.
you can just DVR it.
Oh, I do DVR because I have Pop.
I feel like
Oh,
there's
then-
an
okay.
acquisition that happened there at some point.
Yeah,
But
Probably so.
anyway, when we first found this,
Yes.
that was not an option because for season 2, we all had to wait because there was no way to get to it. And unless you were like talented and patient enough to mask your IP to make it look like you're in Canada, like I was not able to get to their website in prior seasons.
Yeah.
Oh.
They used to have it all blocked out unless you were Canadian. Because I distinctly remember asking in this room, like, how do we pretend that we're Canadian so that we could see more of this show?
Just say
A.
it. No,
Sure.
Al, this is what you've been trying to get me to
A
find.
boot?
Pick up a hammer and nail this coffin shut.
Because I had to go back. I just needed a little bit more. I was left.
agree with you,
I
Mary.
was left a little empty.
Is it like that's the premiere season? That's
That's the first episode. I just needed a little bit more. I was so moved and touched by this week's episode. You can find the song that he sings.
I'm not there yet.
But it's
Oh,
on
you'll
iTunes.
enjoy it.
But you can find it on iTunes.
Cute.
It's called The Best, and it really was one of the, I like openly sobbed. It was like I was watching Hamilton. Like I was moved.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and
Everyone thought when I said I cried, everyone thought I was laughing so hard I cried. Like they
No.
actually
Got you.
set it up as a joke, and then I went immediately to tears. I was like moved by Moira, moved by him, and now I found out for sure that Dan Levy is gay, so I got to go. I'm moving to Ontario.
I agree with you. Let's go to Ontario.
Yeah.
Let's go find him.
I'm ready.
Well, today on the finale of the show, Clayton McKee.
They upped and moved.
Exactly. The finale show.
Pick up a hammer and nail this coffin shut.
I cannot express to you, and it's been so long since I watched that first. I've
Right.
not watched it again.
I feel like I need to go back and watch all of them again because I, in the anticipation of enjoying the next one, I think I've lost things.
Yeah.
But oh my god.
And there's a reason why I got hooked right away, and it's because of that line in that episode. I forgot how she
Oh, and
just
David's character, the way the two
screams that out to the room. So good.
the sweaters he wears are just too much.
They need Beverly from the Goldbergs to meet up with David and have them just compare sweaters. So I need to go to IMDb. So from the Independent Spirit Awards, there were Get Out got Best Picture, got Best. I think I got Best Director too, which was a lot of fun. But the surprise at the Oscars was in the toughest category of the night, Best Original Screenplay, which is where you had your Lady Bird, you had your Shape of Water. That's where The Big Sick was all hiding. All these big movies were all original screenplays. So, Oscar, who will win? And that Jordan Peele won for Get Out.
And that was a historic win. If I'm not mistaken, that was a historic win.
No.
I read that.
Oh,
I don't think it was a historic win because the guy that wrote Moonlight won last year, so he wasn't the first.
No, but I believe there was something. She'll Google it. I'm sure I read that because while we were sitting in your living room, a pop-up came up on my phone and said something about a historic win because of him, but I didn't read further because obviously I don't want to spoil anything. I'll be curious. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was about him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because he wasn't. And the funny thing was Guillermo del Toro and P.T. Anderson and him, like that whole thing about writing, directing, and producing a Best Picture. There were 3 this year that did that. And Greta Gerwig wrote and directed her. She just wasn't a producer. So that thing of being the person that writes they couldn't make that big of a deal because they had 2 other people that had pulled off this feat.
It was 4 amazing men and Greta Gerwig.
And Greta Gerwig, yeah. So
Entertainment Weekly calls it historic, and then just has a big line of tweets of people excited about it. Doesn't tell me why it's historic.
Yeah, I don't know who told me that.
I mean, the only thing I think is maybe he's the
oh wait, first Black writer ever to win this award.
Oh.
Oh, for original
Best original screenplay, right?
Oh, now we gotta look up Moonlight. Look up Moonlight. I thought that Moonlight won. I don't think Moonlight was an adaptation. Oh, and I always sent it there. God damn it. I know.
Right.
Dear Google, Moonlight Wikipedia. Section awards.
Best adapted screenplay. So he would be the first one to win for best original screenplay.
Okay.
So the difference with Moonlight was an adaptation.
I'm glad to help give you knowledge.
Yeah.
I feel.
Because it's going to come up next year on the quiz, right?
Right.
So,
it will. It absolutely will.
We need this information.
Yep.
By the way, unless you're coming up with it, how did our tallies go?
I have not graded them yet.
Okay. All right.
I
feel like we're gonna.
I've either been unconscious or running. Those are my only 2 modes lately.
It's fine. It's quite. It's fine.
So just to go through, because I thought I had these pages pulled up, and I did not.
Nobody got harmed.
Alphabetically. So just from the Indie Spirit Awards, I wanted to tell you about a couple of those because there were some fun film independent Spirit Awards. So it did win Best Feature, Best Director. So that was a big deal. That Get Out won those. First feature went to Ingrid Goes West, which I talked about last summer. It was a charming little weird movie. And then everyone else was pretty much the same people except for Timothée Chalamet won for Call Me By Your Name. One of the problems with the Independent Spirit Awards is most of the movies that get nominated for Oscars in years where there's a low ratings, it's because it's independent movies that make it up. So there's all these movies like I, Tonya, Get Out that were made because Blumhouse Productions, which we've talked about over and over again for years.
He kept screaming at me. He would jump forward from
He
where he was
He
sitting
hit me several times.
and yell into my ear.
Right here.
I've been talking about that for years.
Jason Blum, because he
Just
makes those movies
screaming.
for $3 and $5 million that are just making bank, and he produced Whiplash a couple years ago.
And you gave it to me. On
People
Sunday.
wonder why I don't come to this party. Being screamed at, you're being hit.
But it was so much fun.
It was charming.
Such a delight.
Seating is crucial.
Yeah.
That's what you have to plan.
Understood.
So Timothée Chalamet won for Call Me by Your Name at the Spirit Awards. He was very charming. They'd made some jokes about his outfit. He made some jokes back. So it was very good. But in the Oscars for best screenplay adaptation, it was James Ivory, who he hates his movies and I love them. The Merchant Ivory movies from all those years ago. James Ivory wrote the adaptation of Call Me by Your Name and won his Oscar and did his tribute to love, gay, straight, or anywhere in between. So I did a little Googling 40 years after it was relevant and found out that Merchant Ivory, not only were they producer director, they were a longtime romantic couple. Turns out they were together. So in their early days, Merchant, the producer, Ismail Merchant, he was of Indian descent. Okay. And that's why so many of their movies, they went passage to India. They went to India.
Oh, okay.
And there was always those little bent to them. And then Ruth, I can't think of what her last name, but turns out she was German, even though her name sounded like it had Indian descent. So here they were making all these British movies, and none of them are British. Like, they're Indian, German, and American. James Ivory, I was expecting an accent. He's from fucking Oregon.
Oh.
So it was just a surprising twist. But I was so delighted to find out that that they were a couple, and one of the reasons they made the wonderful movie Morris, which reads like Maurice, but you pronounce it Morris, was the first happy ending gay story ever, and they wanted to make sure that they made that movie. They made it as they were doing all these adaptations. So, I mean, Merchant Ivory films are Room with the View, my absolute favorite, which I just watched in 30 Days of Oscar. One of the funniest, most delightful movies ever. I could never forgive myself. You always say that, and you always do forgive yourself, Violet. And I'm like, it's so bitchy. So we'll just go back. So, so there were very few surprises in the whole night. If we've been following the awards circuit this whole year, there was no names read out that any of us were, except for Jordan Peele for that screenplay. But it could have gone to all 5. There really weren't many surprises. You knew that Allison Janney was going to win. Thank God for such
I
a
was
fun
thrilled to see that,
performance.
yes.
Sam Rockwell, and I think people are going to start bitching as more people see that movie. I think it's going to come up to people of color that. So are you saying we should keep people on the police force that were racist assholes and harassed people of color because one day they might help a white lady? Like, it's such a tone-deaf
Character.
Well, and Nant asked who the basketball player was.
Oh, the basketball player was Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Who
and
wrote, he wrote a poem when he
Dear
retired,
Basketball,
Dear
wasn't it?
Basketball. He wrote a poem about retiring, and someone took the poem and made it into an animated short that's now an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
So Kobe Bryant is an Oscar winner.
Well,
and
and
strange that he's at a Me Too moment. Like
Exactly.
Like-
And we mentioned it a little bit, but there were people that became a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right? That, something I didn't know just from simply not paying attention. That
well, you're busy cleaning up my cupboards. You had work to do.
I was very busy.
Organize the Tupperware.
I was very busy, but it does look delightful now. But that Gary Oldman apparently had domestic violence issues. In the past. Now, I don't know what they were, so I don't know if that's like a pushing it kind of thing.
And that's why they said that case, because Casey Affleck was accused by 2 different women last year, so they were saying
That's
how
why he didn't
horrible,
present.
how horrible it would be. And they're saying like the Adrian Brody thing with Halle Berry was, everybody's always kind of like looked at that as, is it charming or is it kind of gross?
Ryan Seacrest being on the red carpet.
Yeah.
After, I'm just saying, like after.
Right, but Ryan Seacrest isn't, unless he's on E, because
He's on E.
Yeah, because I mean ABC had it down to the stars of ABC shows.
Yeah, no, it was.
yeah.
It was. He's on E, and they were saying, well, why is he able to?
Right, but now we're in this time of like there has to be a little bit of due process. Like there's got to be something going on. Like you can't just, because now you just throw someone's name in the mix and all of a sudden they're out of work.
And they should be fired.
Yeah, and it's if it's substantiated over a year, I don't know. There's no way to answer that. There's no way to go back and then have me come out as an okay person, so I'll just stop. The Shape of Water wins Best Picture in a surprising pro-bestiality, where's the fish's penis movie.
I turned around and looked at Al and I went, there's a large fish in this? and he's like, yeah. And I go, you hadn't mentioned that.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's a Shape of Water. I didn't get that. But anyways, then immediately on Monday morning, somebody posted a side-by-side, shot-for-shot of Splash and Shape of Water, how it's exactly the same movie.
Oh, interesting.
Shot for shot.
Yeah,
through the glass, touching. There's all these
but
other
there's
things.
not the cuteness of teaching her how to speak.
No, I
and,
understand,
yeah.
but it was interesting. It's like, oh, I never thought about that. But it's
Yeah.
I haven't seen Splash in 25 years.
There are a lot of different ways to say have someone fall in love with the fish. I mean, I think you follow a certain path. You can only meander in a few different places, but it's
called
not
a lake.
Although I love Splash and it's a fun movie. This one is more of a Cold War story. It's not about teaching the fish how to live on Madison Avenue.
So it's a little more Mr. Limpet and a little less Splash.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's good. That's a good reference.
And I cannot remember that they do explain that you can't explain love because you can't explain the shape of water. Like it's one of those things. Like there's that famous book that talking about love is like dancing to architecture. Like you can't
Right.
explain love to someone. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was about. So Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, and clearly one of those, like, no one else was going to win. No one else was going to win. When you see that movie, you'll just be like, just give him the fucking out. There's, like, Charlize Theron in Monster, where you're like, just call off the ceremony. This show is over.
You asked in the chat room, Anant, you asked why Jodie Foster was on crutches. She actually, though they joked about it, she actually took a fall while skiing earlier. Early in the year, so that's
and
why
you
she
really
was
do
extra.
get a sense because they kept showing her backstage with actresses. She was backstage with J Law. What's her real name? Jennifer Lawrence and Helen Mirren and Jane Fonda, and she's like 7 inches shorter than I'll go. They were all in heels. She was in a boot, but it's just that line in The Accused because I've been doing 30 Days of Oscar and watching all these movies
That's what you kept saying, and I'm like, what? She's 5'3", Clayton.
According to
looked up.
Google, she's 5'3", which makes her your height.
I honestly don't think she is because it comes up and the whole through The Silence of the Lambs, which I now own again on a different version. The whole movie is people towering over her, staring at her.
I love that Jenny said the same thing. What the fuck? Come on.
And it's
That's
inspired by
great.
the creature from the Black Lagoon is the creature from the is the inspiration for the movie
Okay.
because we talked about this.
Yeah.
The reason that he made the movie because he didn't understand as a child why she didn't fall in love with the creature with the Black Lagoon.
right.
Like why were they trying to kill it and not her trying to fall in love with it?
Yeah.
So that was his reasoning of making
Inspiration,
this
kind
love
of thing.
story. We won't go through all of them, but Guillermo del Toro, if you follow my Facebook, a couple years ago, I said after the second Mexican director that I love, one that come on, Guillermo del Toro.
Sure.
I was rooting for Christopher Nolan, but it was nice to see that win. We talked about Call Me By Your Name, one of the most beautiful movies, and I decided to not hit other people in the room and sat near the door and struck my door.
You did.
And
I'm surprised your neighbors did not call the police.
Yeah.
Like someone's locked in that house.
Yeah, trying to get out.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, when they did Best Original Song and he did Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, I was doing I was like crying on the door. Like, that song is so beautiful. Loved it. So, Niagara Falls native and who went to my high school, the former LaSalle player. He went to the same, belonged to the same drama club as I did. Mark Bridges won an Oscar and a jet ski and a trip to beautiful Lake Havasu. Mark
With
Bridges.
Helen Mirren.
That was
Right.
so funny.
That was fantastic.
Helen Mirren not included.
Helen Mirren not included.
But she was on there at the end, so
Right.
that was a delight.
So
Totally
I just
was.
want to make sure Coco won for best song, won for
Oh my god! I cried when they won.
Yeah.
I came home and watched the video and cried myself to sleep.
Yeah.
I love that song. I love that movie. I love everything about it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
you remember when I had talked about Hamilton and how I hadn't listened, I hadn't etc. because I didn't. People always blow things up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, really. So I have done the same thing because of you two. God bless you. With the show, The Greatest Show on Earth.
Oh,
or
The
whatever.
Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. So I've done the same thing because I'm just waiting, right? But when that woman
just sang the shit out of
came
that
out
song.
and fucking
Kiala Settle.
sang that song, holy,
And when she got down and did
it was like,
did the
what?
dance and
I mean,
she did all the things. They went
tits
out in the
for
audience.
days.
Oh yeah, that was. I was
Tits
so
for days, and I was just in
All the-
awe of her power.
yes, and the best song
Oh, my
performances,
God.
best original song performances were lovely.
I
Mary
really
J.
were.
Blige with the
Yes.
choir doing
Oh,
her
and in the
song.
song you're speaking of from The Greatest Showman, when the camera's on stage and she does the turn and the camera follows her,
Yeah.
she just starts crying in the middle of the song. I thought, wow.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much emotion going on with
Yeah.
the whole team on stage that's doing it,
Yep.
and her realizing I'm singing at the Oscars.
Oscars, yeah.
It was quite a moment for that too.
Yeah. Her turnaround
Yeah.
on that stage. I rewound
Yeah.
that a few times. So
I know we were there.
Yep.
no, I meant yesterday.
Oh, again.
Oh,
Oh yeah, because I had to watch it without all of you there, so I could get all the feelings.
because we were noisy.
No, we all were. We all just hadn't seen each other in a while. There was just
No,
a
you're
lot of
right.
catching up to
You're
do.
absolutely
There
right.
really was.
And it was lovely to have Buddy
And it
Early
was.
join us. That was a perk.
Yeah, I would agree completely.
So Love Basketball was the short film, and then I have to find out. It's Incredible Woman, but I need to find out what category. A Fantastic Woman, Best Foreign Language Film. Una Mujer Fantástica is the movie from Chile with the transgendered character. And then she was a
Yes.
presenter later.
Yes.
So that looks really, really good.
Yes,
I had
agree.
seen previews at it at the Scottsdale Harkins, but had just
Okay.
not gotten around to see
Now,
it.
did Buddy say he had seen that or no?
No, none of us had seen
No,
the foreign
okay,
language,
okay.
and I think that one came out maybe in the summer, so it might be
Okay.
available somewhere to rent. But A Fantastic Woman, terrific story for that one. So that was your Oscar recap. It was just so of the movies, see Call Me by Your Name. I think it comes out on video this week or next week, maybe next week.
They all seem to be doing this thing where they do digital and then discs a month later.
Yeah, because I, Tanya is available digitally right now.
Okay.
I would watch I, Tanya first, and
Okay.
then when you're ready for a good happy ending cry, watch Call Me by Your Name, and just be ready to sob
Because
uncontrollably.
remember
The
how we
Greatest Showman comes out on digital. No, not tomorrow. Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm an idiot. What do you mean watch it on digital?
Like you can go to iTunes and buy the movie, or
Or
you can
Amazon.
go to
Streaming, basically.
however
Oh,
you stream it.
so
So Amazon
Amazon.
will have it right. If that's what's hooked
Okay,
up to
that's
your
For money,
TV,
but not for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
it'll be like the $3.99, $4.99 for
Got
HD.
it. Mhm.
Pay the. I know
Pay
she
it.
brought us food, but make her pay you more.
It's all right. No, that's fine. She's not working, so we'll,
And we've
throws
talked
a
about all
wrench in
these
that.
movies ad nauseum for an entire
But-
year.
but it
The
was-
one movie to avoid though that
Yeah.
was terrible,
Yeah.
and I rented it the other day because it was the only acting one. Roman J. Israel Esquire. Missed that movie at all costs.
No, you said one other one.
Wasn't that the
you
Denzel
said one
one?
other one.
Oh, Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. But
Great
I have to admit,
costumes.
the costumes were gorgeous, and that score. So just ignore the dialogue, do
Sure.
something else, but enjoy the score and just come in and enjoy those
Yeah.
gowns because.
So
it's
by the music.
But the movie made me want to hurt people. It was
Right, right.
awful. Awful.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant was not charged, but yeah, he was.
And I also noticed that during the Oscars, he was the only person to win an award who also has a hamburger named after him that was at McDonald's.
Kobe beef.
No, there was a Kobe burger several years back.
What
Oh, I didn't
size was
know
it? Because
that.
he's quite large.
Well, I don't recall. but they did a
It
Kobe
was
Bryant.
super size.
They did a Kobe Bryant burger. I
Oh.
forget what exactly, if it was called the Kobe burger. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know
but they
that.
did. Yeah,
Okay.
I thought of that. I thought of that when we were
I
at the
thought you were
house,
being a
but
smart ass
I knew
'cause
if I
it's
said
Kobe
it
beef.
would just fall on
Yeah.
deaf ears, so
thought
I
you
didn't
were
bring it up.
Kobe
Yeah.
beef.
So I mean, and like I said, it's a fun night. It's a fun show. It's not for everybody. They don't dumb it down. That's what the People's Choice Awards are for.
And they were pairing people as presenters, wasn't it?
There was some that like they weren't nominated, but they were spoken of. But I mean, once you got Armie Hammer and Gal Gadot,
and forget it
Sweet
with Sandra Bullock
Jesus.
because
Oh,
she is the cutest thing ever. And then she's like with the lighting goes down. Did you see that at all? The lighting.
she's like,
goes
I
down.
need to. She's
Oh,
like, I
yes.
need to be mid-40s. Let's bring
Yeah,
the lights
let's
down.
bring
She's
the
like
lights down.
39,
Down.
38, 35. There's a sweet spot.
Yeah, and she's like, and if Gal Gadot came up here. Or
Oh, but-
Gal Gadot's looking up right now, going, "Oh, it's
Like,
me."
looking
or
in the mirror.
something,
Like,
like
looking in a mirror.
Yes.
And then,
She's great.
So I did forget the one thing because I was holding off till the end for that, so I didn't mention her. But Frances McDormand's speech, it got some backlash as it always does because conservatives hate
Sure,
everybody. If you get a chance, she did two things. Oh, and that's what this story is. So she thanked people, did what she had to do, and then she asked for every female nominee in every category, whether they were editors, writers,
Anything.
stand up. Everyone in the room stand up, and like she said, now look around. Everybody in the room has a story to tell.
Yep.
She's like, not tonight at the after parties.
They all have ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but tomorrow or the next day, invite us into your office, or if it's more convenient,
come
come to
to
ours.
ours.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna make some movies. And then she left them with the thought to have inclusion riders for diversity.
Yeah.
Right.
And she said that
So,
as
I have two words for you.
inclusion writers. So Netflix responds. Netflix's Reed Hastings has no interest in inclusion writers for diversity. Netflix has no interest in taking up Oscar winner Frances McDormand's proposal to add inclusion writers in a contest to get cast and crews more diverse. We're not so big on doing everything through agreements, he said. We're trying to do things creatively. He would rather have his staff speak with the filmmakers about how many women and people of color are working on the project before shooting begins. That's how we look at it. Now, Netflix now has 117 million subscribers and plays an increasingly influential role in Hollywood thanks to deep pockets, because one of the movies, well, Mudbound was definitely Netflix, but somebody else surprised me and thanked that it was a Netflix production.
The first.
We did.
the
I remember
first
you.
to
I remember you
win-
talking about that.
Yeah, and I was surprised because I'm like, well, Netflix finally got their Oscar.
Right.
Because they were
Yes,
mad
yeah.
that because Amazon won the first Oscars,
Yep.
and then Hulu won the first Emmy, so Netflix is kind of pissed off.
Icarus for best documentary feature.
Oh, that was it. Yes, there you go. And that's the one about the doping scandal
good.
that the guy at
That's right.
Total Wine did for me. So it's received kudos for the diversity of its actors, writers, and directors, and some of its sought-after series, such as Orange is the New Black and Marvel's Luke Cage. So yeah, I mean, you're really kind of, I guess, and they just hired Shonda Rhimes. So I guess they're doing the right thing. But they have pay issues because there's also boycotts about them not paying the same people enough. But they really do have kind of a diverse lineup if you want to see other things. And Orange is the New Black is hiring every woman and woman of color and age working. I don't think there's an actress left that hasn't walked through at some point on there. So, but I'm really curious about the Icarus movie because that looks really good. It's the doping movie about the Russian Olympic athletes. Olympic athletes from Russia.
Yeah, I agree with Mama Dai. It was one of their best Oscars in a long time. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
tremendously.
Yeah.
I loved
I like
the changes.
The comedy that they did when they went to the other theater, which was just a train wreck when they went to across the street and gave them all snacks.
And they were shooting hot
everything.
dogs.
Yeah,
and-
shooting hot dogs out of a big. It was
That
it was fun.
sounds dirty.
I know, right?
But it was enjoyable.
But it was like, was it last year?
Gorgeous.
They really were. I really, really did not like
The Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
The set that was
with-
behind her, they needed to
She had
color.
this hot pink neonish dress, and as Al pointed out, was going to be starring in the Diana Ross. Diana Ross.
She looked right.
Her hair,
Life
just
story.
everything really
Great.
looked like it, but looked just like Diana Ross. I mean, coming out, it
We
was like,
need
this
that in
is
the world.
great.
Sure.
But there was this red, burgundy kind of.
Yeah, and they
red
had this
behind
glamorous
her.
set behind her that just made her look terrible. It really it
was
clashed with the
awful.
dress so hard. And then everyone else, I mean, there were people that there was a couple times where I gasped at how beautiful. I'm like, I will
Yeah.
accept any
Who was it?
award.
What was her name again?
Eliza Gonzalez. Are you talking about
Pink
the
dress?
one
No,
in
pink dress.
Oh,
Pink dress.
Viola Davis.
Viola
Viola.
Davis.
So, and she had
Oh.
horrible shoes on
She
because
did
she could
almost
barely
landed
walk.
on her ass.
She could barely walk
Oh.
to the microphone, and then she tripped on her way out.
Yeah.
And the Spirit Awards used to be held on the beach on blankets in Santa Monica. Well, now it's become a big thing, and they have sponsors. So now it's in like some kind of a hangar on the beach.
Okay.
But it was still wet. Like the tide still comes in. So that was fun to watch. That people were slipping all over the stage, and like Allison Janney won, and she's like, "The train of my dress is wet. Like I'm carrying a dish towel
God.
behind me." So that was kind of a
That's
fun thing to
great.
watch. So
Yeah, I thought it was so cute, and I thought the back and forth between, forgive me, Tiffany Haddish,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
if I say that right,
so
and
funny.
Maya Rudolph was
hysterical. Yeah,
that is one that I would want to just keep rewinding.
Yeah,
they were very
I got
funny.
the Oscars down to like a 40-minute highlight
Yeah.
reel when I watched it again, except for
Meryl,
the
look,
song
she's
from
all,
the.
Look, Meryl. Oh, I want you to be my mama.
And it was very nice when
so cute.
when Frances McDormand had all the women in the audience stand
Yeah.
up, and at first it was hesitation. She goes, "Meryl, if you do it, they all will." So Meryl like puts her. She's like, "All right," because she did. I don't think she wanted to be the first person to stand up. Like it's been 21
Here's
times.
here's Viola Davis at the in the dress with the big hair in the back.
It's Diana Ross. I mean, there's no
And-
getting around it.
And beautiful.
Yeah.
Except for if you see the background and the.
She's giving you all the Diana Ross there. Diana Ross realness.
It really is.
I can't find a picture.
No,
Tracy
because
Ellis Ross was
if
probably
you-
confused for a second.
She
Big
was
Mom,
like,
aren't you?
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know if it's just that particular hairstyle
think
that's
so.
just so
Yeah.
Diana Ross in all of
the
her
kind
glory.
the dress,
Yeah.
like that, kind of flaring at the bottom. But yeah, that was great, and the back and forth between Jennifer Lawrence and
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
How did I don't want to bring anything. How did
Streep.
you? Yeah.
Streep,
She's so
Italian me.
she's so nice at the luncheon acting.
Acting. And Jodie Foster's looking at
and it
Meryl.
was just, and it was right there. It was real cute.
And
That
it's
was-
nice that it was a nice bit because
Oh.
the host always used to go to Jack Nicholson for the joke, and now everybody has like, she's the she's the Taylor Swift of the Oscars.
very
She's
nice.
just there to
Great
cheer you on.
audience
Yeah, she's a
member.
great audience member.
Yeah, that was fun. And Jodie Foster looked real good.
Yeah,
Like real good.
and
That's
she
all I
doesn't
have to
look
say.
she doesn't look poked or peeled or
She doesn't.
She just looks like Jodie Foster
Yeah.
at 50 something.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought, well, that's nice.
So that's
That's
hopefully
what
you got trash listening to me say Oscar 700 times, and we're just 362 days away from the next one. So
Well, and we're looking forward to it.
There's
Such a
that.
short amount of time.
I know. I say next year you just go buy everything, and then I will come over and make breakfast, and that way I'm there early and on time.
Are we going to start Saturday? Just to,
Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then 2 things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab 2 things you love.
It can be two things.
Only 2 things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of fries and two things.
Remember 2 things.
I believe in 2 things.
Guys are only after 2 things.
What's better, doing 2 things at once or just one?
Never half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing.
Cat Carlson.
Oh,
You're good.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now?
Sure.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
All right, kids. Thing number 1. Heroin update.
Oh. Laser focused.
Wow.
Okay.
Knowing that we are laser focused, I knew that when I saw the heroin headline,
You have to.
we had to.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this is real news.
We're
This
like-
isn't even sarcastic news. This
This
is
is
real
like our
news.
Dateline segment. Like this
Yeah.
is.
It's going to be a lot shorter than that, though, because I highlighted like 6 sections.
All
and we're out.
Was it
10 o'clock. Settle down.
overdose?
Could have been an overdose.
Well,
You don't know.
officially, according to the CDC, opioid overdoses have jumped 30%
Wow.
this
We know
year.
this
Just
is-
since we started the show.
In a year, just
Yeah.
since we
Right.
started the
No.
show.
Nope.
Just since we began our laser focus.
Yep.
Exactly. We're having the wrong effect.
That's
Isn't
right.
that fucking scary?
It is. It's
God.
terrifying.
We have an emergency on our hands.
Yeah.
The fast-moving opioid overdose, which is really hard to say. We
Yeah.
should find a new way to say that.
Heroin.
Continues and is accelerating. Now, the largest regional increase has occurred in the Midwest, which saw a 69% jump in the last year. Most of that jump was driven by Wisconsin. I don't know what's happening in Wisconsin, but 109% increase.
Scott
Paul
Walker.
Ryan.
Yeah.
109% increase in overdoses that
really
have been
terrible.
reported. Now, these are just people that make it to the emergency room.
They're very
Right.
cold.
Just people that make it to the ER.
That's awful, though.
It's every region, it's every demographic,
Walk
it's
of
adults,
life,
it's
yeah.
children,
Yeah.
it's men, it's women. The government, of course, has declared it an emergency.
Finally.
Here's
but
but here's what they did. They walked outside, stood in front of a microphone, said, "It's an emergency," and went back the fuck inside and didn't do anything about it. It's kind of like, and this is the director of the CDC quoted in saying this, it's kind of like pointing at a burning building and saying, "Oh, there's a fire there. Emergency, emergency."
And then going to the theater.
And then not calling the fire department and watching it burn down.
Yeah.
God, somebody should do something.
Yeah.
Call your Congress people. Call some people.
There's no funding for it. It's not getting any attention. They're doing nothing.
Nothing.
And now all they want to do is, well, they're trying to like fight the pharmaceutical companies, but the pharmaceutical companies have huge lobbies that they've already let like write drug laws that are like writing laws.
Oh.
So nothing's gonna pass there.
There are people in charge of like the health department that directly benefit from pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Like I can't remember what the guy is and what his job is, but there are people at cabinet level in charge of like health oversight in the government that literally own companies.
Right. That's all they are in
that
the White House
benefit.
now is people that make money off of whatever
Right.
they're
Well,
in charge of.
like you said earlier, they're just there to make money. Like,
Yeah,
that's
Jared,
right.
Yeah.
Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep. Well,
All of
and
them, all of
and
them.
Nero says she was just talking about it with her mother, the fact that we get that like it's candy.
Oh yeah.
And they can't get pain treatment there to save their lives. That's interesting. I wonder what the reason is. Is it a matter that they don't want this kind of crisis? So they have like super low,
Right, and that's
handing it out.
That's the one thing is like treating the pain, not just covering up the pain.
Right.
Find out where is the pain coming
like
from.
pain management. I couldn't think of stupid.
Pain
but,
management and like what are you doing? Like are you doing the physical therapy? Are you doing the exercises,
Right.
or are you just taking so much medicine that you just lay there?
Well, and Nero, do they have like good pain management stuff?
But they're even beyond that. Once they get hooked on it,
Nero's right, yeah.
pain management's
Right, and that's
You're
what they're
right.
doing
You're
because all
right.
those drugs are too expensive. So then you go from the fentanyl, you go from that Opana, the one that we started this whole
Right,
conversation
right.
about,
Yep.
and they go to heroin because now it's cheap because now they're growing poppies everywhere.
Right.
Like everybody's
Yeah.
figured out. Like
You're right.
So I mean, it's
and cheaper.
And it's
Just
coming
get it.
from so many different, right? And they can't get pain treatment because the doctors know the risk of opioids. But there's other things that you can.
But wasn't that the big thing with Vietnam? I'm gonna sound like an idiot probably, but
they got a bunch of kids hooked on morphine because they were just doping them up to make them be.
And because all the poppies were there.
Yeah,
there was a whole lot of.
Same with Afghanistan. Like that's what the Taliban was pushing was they were Afghanistan was the biggest manufacturer of poppies, heroin in the world, and we like.
Oh, that you know what? That's what it was. It wasn't Vietnam. Forgive me. It was about Afghanistan.
It was about Afghanistan. Yeah. We just opened that door and we're like, and here you go.
Yeah.
They were having a hard time, and all of a sudden they started using heroin trafficking to pay for the Taliban.
Right. And then people came back because that's what they were using.
Kat, continue on, please.
Speaking of the Taliban.
Oh my God, that was a segue made in heaven.
Thing number 2. No, it's not really.
Okay, bad then. My bad.
Although it did kind of feel like we were being invaded by the Taliban a little bit because apparently RuPaul made some dumb remarks and it blew up my social media.
Yeah, I saw that story
feed.
too.
I haven't seen this.
It was, oh my God, it was freaking. I think it was yesterday. So RuPaul did an interview, and with The Guardian, and made comments about transgender people. And you know what I mean? Like it seems to me that it's always been kind of known that Ru is not super educated and on board with the trans movement.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? There have been some contestants that have come through her show, and there were 2 that came out as trans, like, on the show. Okay. And I honestly, like...
Go well.
Well, I'm honestly still upset about the she-male thing with regards to... Because in the show, there's a segment when the contestants get a message via a video, and all the first seasons, it was you got a she-mail, and it was like instead of email, there was a play on words, and then somebody lost their fucking mind over it, and they changed it, and it just ruined all of the fun for it. But continue on.
Yeah, well, you know, RuPaul's been often accused of being really.
Whoops, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Being really tone deaf, as far as trans people are concerned, and said in this interview. Was talking about how he doesn't think that trans women should be able to compete in Drag Race.
Okay.
And then made a really, really like tone deaf tweet that said something about, you know, you can take performance enhancing drugs and still be an athlete, just not at the Olympics. Kind of being like a little bit shitty, like, you take all your hormones, but you can't come play at my show.
Yeah. Okay.
Madness. So then my social media, like, apparently there's a whole bunch of, you know, RuPaul and you know, trans woke people on my newsfeed because then like rants upon rants upon rants. I know. I know. So then the next day on the Twitter, of course, RuPaul posts kind of an apology and says, you know, each morning I pray to set aside everything I think I know so that I may have an open mind and a new experience. I understand and regret the hurt that I have caused the trans community. The trans community are heroes of our shared LGBTQ movement, and you are my teachers. In a second tweet, added that in 10 years, we've been casting Drag Race. The only thing we've ever screened for is charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and that will never change. Okay. So I think they're not going to do, like, any kind of testing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole to-do that blew up my Facebook. Like, it was literally the only thing that I could find.
I didn't see anything about it.
That's so crazy that you didn't.
I didn't at all. But I just looked it up.
My algorithm is fucked up.
But it went right to, I was on, it's made EW's front page because they, Entertainment Weekly's been doing, RuPaul's Drag Race has become their new Lost, Arrested Development. Like they're hooked on the show. They quote it all the time. But I think we talked about this with you judging the pageant last week when they come out in their suits and give their interview as a boy. Well, if they have breast implants, how do they? Why do you make them dress? You know,
right? The male interview.
And why do they?
Now it depends on which pageant system you're part of.
Right,
the America pageant does not permit augmentation below the neck. You can have whatever the hell you want done to your face, but you can't have anything augmented.
Right,
but the other systems let you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. So I mean, you're just you're in that strange place. Like what are and I don't watch Drag Race, so I don't really know like how I wouldn't assume that they couldn't be further along in the process. Like, is it just because now we know there's a difference between drag queens and people going to be transgender? Like,
Right.
Like, where are we on the spectrum? Like, there's just a lot of it I don't get anymore. Like, I'm kind of like so removed from it that and there's sometimes like reading that I'd be like, well, I don't know. Like, are they allowed to be? Are you allowed to have?
Well,
can Laverne Cox
don't know.
compete on Drag Race? Because she you had the clip actually in your Show Tunes night. You had them at Radio City doing lip sync battle.
Oh, sure.
And the worst lip syncer of the three that were on stage was Laverne Cox. And I'm like, well, she never ever had to work as a drag queen, like,
right?
Because she didn't know the words of anything she was doing. Like,
there
she was
are
terrible
a lot
at
of
it.
drag queens that don't. But what story? I did that story 2 weeks ago or whatever about the wrestler in Texas.
Right.
Right.
That is starting to take the hormones and is starting with the steroids and the whole thing. And so in the process.
Right.
But where in the process, like you're saying.
Right. And I just think, like, just like the heroin epidemic, like we're all learning together about this, the T letter of this thing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure
it's so different. Like,
I'm sure it's unpopular, but I believe that Drag Race should be, you are anatomically 100% a boy, because the whole thing with drag is that you are a boy creating an illusion of a woman. If you've already started on that trail and you are, I don't think you should be part of it. I don't agree with that.
Well,
no, I mean that seems like kind of a fair thing to say. It's just
completely agree.
It's like if you're going to a car race and you show up and like, well, I like to race, but I have a truck. No, it's a car race.
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
get
already
that,
set.
But then I don't know what this community feels like. Like, when, like, where are they all landing, and how do you decide?
Right,
what...
but there are a lot of things that we can feel like we feel it should maybe be this way. But if there have been kind of established, if people come into it, whether it's drag race or whatever it is, if there is a way to have the rules be the rules, like do you change? Like, if you're going to change them, go through whatever body of, we're going to, no pun intended, but we're going to change this, and now from here on, because this is now in our consciousness, from here on, right?
At this point in the process, you will now compete as...
Yeah,
but then there's then you're going to have people that don't believe in the binary system. So then who do they compete with?
They have a different pageant.
And no, but I'm just saying, like, in competitions and stuff like that, like.
Well, because like with this person who
and again, anything further on that, and we'll just become insensitive.
No, because I'm certainly not. This is not meant as an insensitive to be insensitive.
Right.
It's the person who is wrestling as a female in Texas, and because the rules state that's what he has to do.
Right. Yeah. No, I get the right.
Not that there is nothing about that makes sense.
There is, but I'm just saying that, like, so now we go down. Now we do that, and we're like, okay, at this
it's
point,
not fair to either side.
Yeah. But then you're like, I don't know. There's just so many. There's so many, like.
Right, because you don't. There's no reason.
So many layers.
You can't play sports or professional drag. Yeah. I don't know.
Decide before you get there.
Yeah.
No, that's not
people
it.
wonder why I don't want to open a bar. Jesus
Christ.
Right.
and if you can't, and then what are we gonna do? Just have the and forgive me for this, but like the in betweens. And I'm not saying that as a horrible label.
Right.
I'm saying they're in between in their transition. So what then they would have to have a certain section for sports, right? Or for different competitions,
right? Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's ridiculous. And now I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
difficult. It's difficult.
It just makes everything about that life that much harder.
It just makes you want to stay home and ignore everybody.
Pick up a hammer and nail this coffin shut.
Agreed.
Well, that turned into thoughtful vulgarity
like
too.
it.
So
Good
well
job.
played.
That was your second story, right?
That was my second story.
Oh my God, we've made it through that.
The end.
There is that.
The
My
end.
gosh.
I don't know. Gender segregated sports have always driven me insane.
Okay.
There are very few sports that I really see that really have to be gender segregated.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You could have wrestling events that are divided by weight class. You can have other sporting events that are just divided by, ability or size or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can have different benchmarks that aren't just gender for sports. You know, and I was somebody that played a lot of co-ed sports and ended up the only female on the team a whole lot of times.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. I get it.
You know, so I just, like, gender segregation of sports drives me bananas because I can't, unless we're operating on, you know, inferior versus superior, which is how that started. Well, we'll let the girls have sports now because I guess we have to.
Well, and we don't want them to get hurt.
Right. Oh, those girls are fragile. We don't want to hurt them.
I just and from like I don't think anybody should be playing football at this point. Like it's just so it causes brain damage.
Football is awful, and
so
there should not be women in their right mind that want to play that
right
sport.
because I mean those running backs are small compared to the tackles and stuff like that. So you've got somebody who's like 5'8", 5'9", and a real lean 180, getting plowed over by a 300-pound refrigerator.
You want to win some football games, though? Get yourself a lady quarterback.
Oh, God.
I want to talk about people that can think fast and make decisions. Go get yourself a lady quarterback. You're going to win some fucking football
But then again,
games.
that tackle comes up and knocks you into next week. Like, you know, some of those...
Yeah.
Well, those sacks are brutal.
They are. They are. And it doesn't matter how easy, you know, when I say easy, like you can't do this and you can't hit here and you can't.
But you can't control everything when you're flying across the field. Like
300 pounds of flying through the air. No.
A flying refrigerator.
Yeah. Right?
Flying refrigerator.
Let me introduce you to some women that play tackle football that I know. They'll be fine.
Yeah. I've seen and I've watched some of those games and jumping fucking Jesus. I do not.
Oh, or seeing Brittany. I saw Brittany Grimes a couple weeks ago at Griner at a restaurant, and I'm like, she can compete with anybody. Like she doesn't need to be gendered out for any reason.
Nope. Nope. Not even kind of.
You could just have 5-foot basketball and 7-foot basketball.
Right.
It would be wonderful.
That's great.
Break it up by height. There you go.
I like it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Alfie, I'll tell you, have a great trip in the Italies. Send pictures, post pictures.
Bon voyage.
Yes, I will. The next time you see pictures of me, I will be eating pasta.
Ah, very nice.
Maybe
or wine. Or veal. I don't know.
So it's all weird, like things that you wouldn't have here.
Right. Exotic foods I've never eaten before.
Exactly.
Basically, you could have gone to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Once again, we're off for 2 weeks.
Your family.
We're off for 2 weeks, and then we'll be back. We're doing a little spring break thing. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Oh my gosh, I'll be over this cough, I'm sure, by the time we get back. That'll be nice. I can laugh again and it won't hurt.
Yes, I hope you feel better.
Feel better. Allergy season's coming, people. Be ready.
As we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting
everybody.
thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.
Pick up a hammer and nail this coffin shut.